Hello. Can you hear me? Is everything okay? Is we working? We gaming? Hang on. Give me 1 minute. Or I might almost be done. One second, I'm still here. I think I've nearly got it sorted. I don't seem to be dropping frames anymore. Are we still lagging? Are we yeah, we are playing Devil May Cry, yeah. Okay, we seem stable now. Jolly good show. Jolly good show. Hello, how's it going, boys? How's the background music, by the way? Is this too loud or does this sound okay? Is the stream laggy? Are we lagging on the stream, or is the video nice and smooth? I don't know. I'm looking at my I'm looking at the video playback on YouTube, and it looks laggy. How does it look to you guys, or does it look stable and all right? Do I sound better this time as well? Because I was sounding a bit robotic and tinny a few days ago. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just imagining things, but it seems laggy to me. Okay, cool. It seems good. All right, well, let's start gaming. Good happy Friday evening, or happy Friday afternoon, Americans, I guess, in most denominations. How are you all doing this evening? Good to see you all. Good to see you all. I thought I would try as much as I can. Obviously, I won't necessarily have a subject to talk about every week, but I thought I would bring back men's, well, we're not doing men's Mondays anymore, but every now and again we can do a little fun stream, I suppose, talking about mental health related stuff, in particular regarding men's issues, right? Stuff that's it can affect women as well, but is perhaps stuff that we as men perhaps struggle with a little bit more than most women. Because one thing I notice, particularly looking on the Twitterers and shit, is that there's a bunch of guys who are, you know, they're sad boys, and they just need to be told that they're doing all right, and they need a bit of encouragement to get in the right direction, I think. So, hello. My name is Lord Maulington. I am the sexiest man in male VTubing, and today we are going to be doing a presentation on men's mental health and strategies for overcoming self-doubt for those of you who want to do things but are struggling to do things because of your own perception of yourself. And just so we're clear, I'm the funniest man in male VTubing, obviously, and I'm not a furry, I'm not a femboy, and I'm not gay, alright? I'm a big, strong, burly man. Alright, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Alright. So I don't think today's stream will be a particularly... Yes, I am sure I study. What is the lies? I'm not lying. You're the ones that... Stop gaslighting me, chat. Stop gaslighting me, gentlemen. Alright, I'm very Look, I am so confident in my... what's the word? I'm so confidently straight. Okay, I'm relentlessly homosexual. That's why, okay. Hello, Extreme Finger. How's it going, buddy? I'm not everything that I said. But yeah, I don't think these streams will be too particularly long, really, because it's more about... You know, you're all different. You've all got your own challenges and wants in life, so I can't really tailor advice to each and every single one of you, because this isn't a fucking, like, one-to-one therapy session. But having gone through the ringer myself on quite a few things, particularly on issues such as depression, being, you know, way too hard on yourself, you know, not necessarily hating yourself, although that can be a big problem. It's also about just being ridiculously unfair and harsh on yourself and not giving yourself, you know, it's about... I think some men struggle with loving themselves and recognizing that they actually have skills and they have worth, and there isn't they struggle to conceptualize the value they bring and what they're worth. So we're going to try to unpack some of these things and try to reframe your mind a little bit so you can get rid of those disgusting brain worms that get in the way of you doing things. Hey Pablo, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Maybe I should mix a drink for this, yeah. Doing fine? Good to hear it, Extreme. Hello Toaster, hello everybody, hello Miro, good to see you again, Miroslav. If you aren't suffering, are you even living? Well, this is the thing, this is the male experience. The male experience is suffering because, as we all know, we are worthless and we are put on this planet to do nothing but provide for women, right? It's been a while that we're here, yeah. Hey, Cronk Lab, how's it going, mate? Good to see you, Cronk Lab, buddy. Hey, get the fucking Fosters, get the menthols and a pack of stubbies in, boys. We got ourselves a proper Ripper Legend Cronk Lab here. We ain't worthless. That's very true, actually. Cronk Lab is king of the cunny is Cronk Lab. Hello, Cronk Lab. All right, so let's start to get on to some slides. So I'll kind of explain and kind of go over some general concepts, and then we'll get straight into the. We'll get straight into the thing. Hang on. I need to just adjust something. I'm still trying to get used to. I've tried to fiddle about with my OBS settings a little bit, so I don't need to keep turning shit on and off in order to stream. I've kind of had to rejig everything. Instead of like just relying on the screen capturing everything, I've tried to actually just capture particular windows and pieces of media, but I still struggle with that sometimes. I've almost got it. I've set it up much better than I did before my PC fucking shit itself. Fucking Intel, shitty ass Intel CPUs. Yeah, I'm not a furry. I'm a kimono Pascal saucer. Shut the fuck up, Pascal saucer. You don't know anything about furries and not furries. No one asked. I speak in traditional English ebonics, right? You lost 3 CPUs this year. Fucking hell. I've got a 14900K. And yeah, the problem, what caused my computer to do what it did, is that my CPU just finally fucking died. Intel, I'm never buying Intel again. Fuck that. Anyway, and so as we're going through today's stream, and when you go away from today's stream, I want you to remember I want you to take some stuff away with you and remember this the entire time, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to remember. Well, the first thing I want you guys to think about is you should always ask yourself the question is, are you happy with yourself, right? At the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. And you know, there's stuff out there. There's stuff like, you know, the Am I the Asshole subreddit, right? That subreddit is mostly filled with people making up complete shit and nonsense, right? But every now and again, there is stuff where I see people like ask for advice, and they're like, "Oh, am I the asshole in this situation?" And it's like, well, sometimes it's okay to be an asshole. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes everyone else is wrong and you're right, quite frankly. So when you're navigating through life and you're thinking about who you want to be and who you are, remember, at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. So really what matters is, are you happy with yourself and can you live with yourself? And then if the answer to that is no, if you're not happy with yourself, then maybe it's like, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna do something about it? You probably should do something about it if you can't live with yourself and you're not happy with yourself. And do it for yourself and not for others. So if you aren't happy with yourself and you want to do something about it, it's highly unlikely that it's too late for radical personal and professional change in your life, particularly if you're an American as well. I guess it depends, because obviously if you've got some kind of serious physical or psychological neurodivergent, for example, problem in the way, then that can cause complications in it. But particularly for Americans, you've got quite a lot of good systems to try and get your life back on track. If basically, as long as you're under the age of about 42. And I'm not a Fed, I'm not a psyop when I say this, but if you're an American, most branches of the US military will accept enlistments up to the age of 42, and then even then, they often have age waivers as well, so you could potentially apply even when you're older. And it's not for everyone, but when you think about it, if you did a 4-year enlistment in the military, not only is your university not only can you go back to university or go to university for the first time for free, you actually get paid an E5 salary whilst you're in term. So even if you're like 45, for example, and you think, man, I really wish I did, I don't know, I really wish I became an airplane mechanic, or I really wish I went to got into law or got into medicine, then, you know, there's opportunities that you can still undertake to go down that route. But I think rather than focusing on the professional, probably the personal issues that you have are normally the most important thing that you really need to focus about. But they both personal and professional kind of intertwines with each other, because the thing is that if you are in a financially stable position, then you're much better equipped to fix the personal issues that you're currently facing. Like I remember seeing a tweet the other week where people were like, has PewDiePie found the secret to winning life? Because obviously he lives in Japan now. I don't think he works, but he does like whatever takes his fancy. If he wants to learn how to draw, he can dedicate himself full time to that. He's got a child, a family, a wife, etc. And it's like, yeah, but the thing is, right, is that PewDiePie can do that stuff because he doesn't have to do a 9-to-5 and he's completely financially stable. So, I mean, PewDiePie has been able to, I guess, find out the success to life because he doesn't have to worry about money. He doesn't live paycheck to paycheck, right? But then the problem is, at the same time, is that if you're not in a good place personally, if you're not in a good place physically or mentally, then you're unlikely to be able to get yourself in a professional position where you'll be financially stable enough to then fix yourself, right? So it's a bit of a catch-22, bit of a domino effect there. Yeah. That's the epiphany I had when I was 13 and getting shitty grades, getting bullied and feeling like shit. I had to take charge of my life and I wasn't going to make it, and it made all the difference. That's the thing. Accountability and personal responsibility are very huge parts of not only getting you on the steps to be successful, but it's also, you know, primary, you know, visceral, instinctual values that really make you feel like a man, right? I mean, I think for most men, we just want to be men, and we want to feel like good men who provide a great service. We're highly worthwhile to our communities, and we can protect our families, right? So our choice is to become an easily forgotten meat shield that'll never be known. Well, it depends really on how you want to think about that. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, like, none of this matters, dude. We're all just like a star in the galaxy, dude. Like, none of this matters. Didn't his mom work on Sab planes, or was that related to the business? I think PewDiePie comes from a relatively well-off background because he went to university for architecture, if I recall. But then, like university in Sweden, it's not even free. I think like they actually pay you to go to university in Sweden, even if you just because. Talk was as to him being successful and not involve himself in drama. You know all the goings on, Inferno. Ah, I see. We're all gonna die some days. But yeah, I mean, one thing I see a lot as well from guys is it's like they are in their 30s, 40s or something, and then they have that realization moment where they're like, oh shit, I'm 30, 40 now, it's way too late for me to like fix my life and be happy and maybe get myself in a professional, financial or personal position that I would like. And I think what you have to remember is that honestly, even if you're in your 30s and 40s, it's really not too late. It's really not too late for you to massively, like, radically change where you are in life and who you are as a person. Obviously, I'd say you need to be about ideally 20 years away from retirement before you need to really start to worry about where you are in life. So when you're in your 50s, I mean, it's certainly a case of you, if you're really in a bad state, then yeah, you'll probably be working to your 70s, which isn't ideal. But if you're in your 30s and even mid 40s, I mean, seriously, you don't need to worry. You've still got plenty of time. Ideally, I think that a person who's doing really good, a person who's doing good, should either know and have a realistic plan to get to where they want to be, or they should essentially nearly be there already by the time they're 30. But you know, we're not, or not for whatever reason, not all of us may be necessarily at that stage in our lives. But it's okay as long as if you want it enough. I believe Maulington believes that you can do it. We're a lot stronger, we're a lot more capable than we give ourselves credit for. And, you know, you're not necessarily special. When I say you're not necessarily special, I don't mean that in the way of you're worthless. Rather, what I mean by that is that one thing that people who struggle with self-confidence think is that they think they're a special kind of retard. They think they're especially useless, right? You know, people say, oh, it's okay, you're like a million other people and you'll do it, right? You'll be okay, you can do it. And they're like, no, I can't do it because I'm a special kind of retard, I'm stupid, I'm worthless. And it's like, you're highly unlikely to be the case. You're not special. We're human beings, we're all built to be adaptable. You can do it, you can definitely do it. You just need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You need to take proactive steps to fix your position. And you need to never doubt yourself, right? If you're worried about taking on challenges, or you're worried about screwing up, if you do screw up, then at the end of the day, it's just let it make you stronger and you learn from it. We all make mistakes. You don't always get it right the first time. Sometimes you'll get other people who will doubt your ability to succeed, but at the end of the day, you're the one who knows you better than anyone else, and as long as you're honest with yourself and you make a concentrated effort to achieve what you want in life, eventually I think you will get there. Just keep learning from it, get stronger, build some resilience. Thank you very much for the membership, Vega buddy. Good to see you again, buddy. I'm not a furry, but good day, good day. Self-motivating long-term is hard. It is self-motivating long-term. Oh god, hang on a minute. Am I fucking lagging again? No, it's my model. My brain is cooking right now. That's not, that buffering is actually like a model emote, by the way. That's not the program doing that. That is a thing with my toggle. Hang on. My fucking iFacial mocap has stopped tracking me. Let me fix that. Oh my god, I'm really burning through power on the phone. The phone's really hot. Hang on, give me 1 second. Oh my god, what the hell is wrong with all the scuff today? Like the stream on fucking... when was it? Monday? When did I stream again? When did I last stream? I can't even remember when I streamed now. My 5-second memory's kicked in. Yeah, we're getting all the problems today. Everything's crashing. You learn more from failure. You learn more from failure than you would learn from success. Exactly. Failure is the great teacher, and honestly, I'm one of those people who gets really complacent and stops caring and giving a shit when I've been winning for too long. I need failure, and I need to be put in my place from time to time in order to remain at a high standard, personally and professionally. There are people who are like that. I'm one of them, and it's okay to be like that as long as you recognize where your strengths and weaknesses are and learn proactive steps that you can take to try and get over that. Okay, hang on, this should work now. Am I back? I'm back. There we go. Okay. But yeah, anyway, to address that point earlier, self-motivating is hard over long term. That's very true. But then one thing we'll get into is that you just need to set a long-term goal for yourself that you're continuously working towards. But then you also need to think about key milestones on that journey and find more leisurely and less serious stuff that you can also kind of endeavor to do. Like, adventurous training is something that I think is very important for men and very important for your mental health as well. Like, it could be anything. It could be something like sailing, for example. It could be fishing, diving, although I'll try to keep it relatively affordable, because obviously not everyone can go out and spend several $1,000s to go get diving certified and buy diving equipment. But one thing that really helped me, I suppose, transition away from being a little fat gay retard was picking up combat sports and doing stuff like judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, sambo, kickboxing, Muay Thai, regular boxing. I dabbled with like all of it to try and find something that I really enjoyed doing. And in the end, for me, it was grappling, like particularly judo and jiu-jitsu was great fun. Wrestling was great fun. And it's kind of like, particularly as someone who's a gamer and someone who's like a massive fucking nerd, I even like gamified my hobbies so that it never became like a tedious thing. It never became like, oh god, I really don't feel like going to the gym today, or like whatever you want to call it, the fight academy, whatever the hell you go to today, because it's like, oh, I just don't feel like it. I just want to sit in my room and goon to VTubers and eat chocolate buttons, right? Kind of. I guess one kind of like little autistic gamer thing you can do to kind of help motivate yourself is to like gamify it, like turn it into an RPG almost, right? It's like, I'm going to the gym, but I'm not thinking about like having the perfect body, and I'm not thinking about like the pain and the misery that comes from working out. It's like I'm building up my strength stat by going to the gym, right? I'm currently at 6 strength, and if I get to 7 strength, right? If I build up my strength stat enough, I'll get this cool new perk, which is called being attractive to the female sex. I kind of think of it in that way, right? You're leveling up your stats. That's how you need to think about it, right? You need to think about you need to think about developing yourself to get better at your job, right, and to get promotions, right? Again, that's just you grind. That's you leveling up your profession, so you can make more money selling shit on the market. Hey, Felix, adjust my errors as being a courier. Yeah, like Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I fucking love. That's the thing. Hey, Cry High. Hey, guys. That's the thing, Pavlo, is that I just think like it's a key part in the male community. I think every man, if physically able, should learn some kind of like hand-to-hand combat or some kind of like unarmed combat sport. I think is essential, because oh boy, there's nothing that's better at detoxifying the gay feminist retardation of modern government and society than particularly going to a grappling gym and just going full fucking ape with another man, right? That's the great thing about wrestling and jiu-jitsu and judo and stuff, right? Is that you can really just go to fucking war with another man at like 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, and both of you, and like you won't go to prison for it, right? You can get a big workout. You can get a lot of like anger, stress, and worries out of your minds. And you don't. There's no murder. Hopefully there won't be any injuries. Maybe you might accidentally break an arm or a leg or something. It does happen. Yeah, just going full ape just feels fantastic. Making a build. Yeah, we're making a build. We're playing Path of Exile in real life, right? And we're experimenting. We're experimenting with the talent tree. Hey Yoku, how's it going, buddy? Dancing is raising. Yeah, dancing is raising your charisma. I wish I could skip dialogue in real life. Well, this is the thing, Toaster. You see, what I do is I put 0 points in charisma, and and then no one wants to talk to me, so then I don't have to worry about the dialogue options. There's no greater power in this world than self-delusion. Yeah, Krybus, that's a very, very good point. And self-delusion can actually be used, and disassociation can be excellent tools to help you get over things. But then the problem is, right, at the same time there's self-delusion and then disassociating yourselves from things can also put you in a situation where you're not, it can block you from that learning process that's also required to develop yourself and get better as well. So it's really important that you are always brutally honest with yourself, and you're not lying to yourself about where you are in life and how you're feeling. And then if you can keep track on that, you'll know what, hopefully you'll be able to keep tabs. You'll be able to keep, what's the word? You won't lose yourself then, basically. You won't trick yourself into thinking it's okay to spend all day, every day, eating chocolate buttons and gooning to VTubers when it's not, okay? It's okay to be cringe and free. But it's not okay to be sat around watching VTubers all day, every day, doing nothing else. Help, Professor... You know, the other thing that annoys me about Professor Dialogue Wheels is that the option doesn't fucking, like, link up to what that choice says, right? So a choice will say, like, sarcastic quip, and then you go, oh, okay, I'm going to choose a sarcastic quip option, and then the fucking guy you're controlling is like, I'm going to shoot your head off and shit down your neck, you fucking gay retard. And it's like, wait, what? I didn't expect that response. That wasn't where we were going. What is a foid, by the way? What the fuck is a foid? This is new slang that I'm not familiar with. Maulington, I have a foid coming over tonight. Any advice? A woman. Is it just a regular woman? It's called a foid. Oh, a female. A female. It's okay, right? I'm an old man. I don't know this new internet slang. I'm behind the times. All right. Okay, hang on. What's the question again? Let me scroll back up. The logic of manual maintenance. Okay, slap it. Yes, exactly. Amola's gonna have a foid coming over tonight. Any advice? Yes. Okay, Ian. What you want to do, as soon as that woman comes through your door, right, you need to immediately lock the door behind her. And the reason why you lock the door behind her is because women like to know that they're safe. And by locking the door behind her, she now knows that no one can get in the house then, right? She'll feel nice and safe when you lock the door behind her. And then make sure to take her coat for her, even though she doesn't ask, because women like a man with a bit of initiative, and they like a man who's confident in himself. So make sure you firmly grasp the coat that she's wearing and take it off her without consent. Right? That's my next piece of advice for you. And then yeah. Foid as a term of endearment or an insult, depending on the foiding question. These are great tips. Yep. And the thing is, women don't like it when women like it when men are kind of mean to them and hard and are a bit hard to get. Right? Women don't like men who are simps and who are too sweet. They don't respect them. So what you need to do when you have a woman over is you need to make sure that she recognizes that you're the man in charge, you're the man, right? And that you could, you need to let the woman know, right, that you're the man, you're large and in charge. And if she tried to fuck with you, you'd cave her fucking skull in, right? The FBI wouldn't be able to would find no traces of what happened to her if she messed with you, right? Women like to know. Women like to be scared of men a little bit, right? So you grab that woman, right? You put one hand on each shoulder, you get right in her face, you look her right in the eyes, okay? And you tell her, if you mess with me, okay? If you mess with me, it'll be the last thing you ever do. All right? My ex messed with me. All right? That's what you need to do. And unlock your inner caveman, yeah. Straight to the moon. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's get on with the stream today. We're going to try to keep the shit posting to an appropriate minimum today. So let's move on to the next slide, boys. Again, jail any speed room. Be nice to her, but to remember to go. Yeah. You see, guys, women really like it when you call them fat. They really like it when you call them old, and they really like it when you call them ugly. So make sure to call your girlfriend fat, old, and ugly. It will do wonders for her self-esteem. I'm hard to get because I'm as dense as a brick. I'm as dense as a brick when it comes to lovers. This is the best advice I've heard this year. I'm learning so much. Yeah, remember, guys, if Homeland Security asks, you didn't learn any of this shit from me, all right? If you tell Homeland Security where you learned this shit from, that first of all, they're going to throw you away in an asylum because no one's going to believe that some gay British retard furry on the internet told you to do all this stuff. And even if Homeland Security doesn't get you, I will. Maulington, never heard of her. Good boy, Vega. Good boy. Although I'm not a she, I'm a he. So, what are some of the common mental health challenges faced by men? The big one is the prevalence of depression. So, depression is a common mental health issue among men, and it often goes unreported due to stigma and social expectations. In fact, you could probably say that these days, in this day and age, thanks to generations of failed experimental government policy and having way too many women, particularly women psychologists, in places of authority. I'll try not to make it too political, but we're in this situation where depression is now basically it is the male condition. Like, fucking most men these days are just in a permanent state of depression, whether they even realize it or not. We're all suffering a little bit inside right now because particularly in mostly Western government and society has taken away many of the jobs and many of the community positions. It's taken away a lot of respect, and I guess it's taken away a lot of what's the word? It's taking away a lot of I can't think of the word now. It's taking away a lot of respect of, and it's taken away a lot of the systems that we had to cope with being men, right? Like, you can't go to the workplace anymore, and among your failed colleagues, not including women, you can't, make man-style jokes. You can't make off-color jokes, racism jokes, sexism jokes of any of those kinds of nature. Dark jokes, black humor, that's all basically banned from the offices. And you also get women insist upon inserting themselves into male-only spaces. And then that creates problems as well. They can't just let men have their own spaces where they can be men and do men things by themselves, which is often very good for our mental health. And this is something that I would definitely highly encourage amongst men, is to find somewhere, whether it's in person or on the internet, where you can find other like-minded males, and you don't have to worry about women or the feds or the police or the fun police or some nagging fucking government worker coming along and telling you what you can and can't say. The best way, I think, to tackle depression and to tackle many of the problems which arise from that, like self-doubt, is to find a good group of homies who you can not only talk to and express these emotions with, but kind of relate to, inspire you, mentor you, and help you deal with these complex emotions that we all feel that cause depression. Sometimes depression isn't about unhappiness with where you are, who you are in life. It can be about just simply not having companions of whom you share a great many values and interests with. So it's important that you find such individuals, and I think it's important as well that if you see other men struggling, that you do reach out in a warm and comforting manner and try to help your fellow homies, and if you can't find one, if there is no space for you to do this, then why not take the leap? Why not take the plunge into actually leading and creating one yourself? And again, it's important when you do this as well. So it's important to do it in a sustainable and realistic manner, because you can't be there. You can't help every single lost soul you come across, because you have your own emotional reservoir, and you will burn yourself out, and you will end up making yourself quite miserable trying to be there and to listen to every other person's issues whilst not getting that, particularly when you're not getting that support back yourself, right? It's like It's like the tired old federal special agent who sits around in his office all day investigating like the worst crimes of like terrorism, drugs, child trafficking, human trafficking and shit, right? It's like they do good important work, but they need time to focus on themselves. So I would always encourage men to try to suppress those natural urges we have sometimes to compete and dominate other men, and do try to build up other people instead of, you know, putting them down and looking down upon men who are struggling. Basically, be kind of like Andrew Tate, but not like Andrew Tate at all, if that makes sense. Rather than be a salesman who's grifting from a tragic large scale society decline amongst men. Instead, be genuine about it and genuinely try to help people, even in just small ways. I think what men these days lack most are great male figures, honestly, who can impart values on them that make them feel happy with themselves and that make them productive members of society. Because politicians are scum, you know, streamers, influencers, a lot of celebrities are basically hedonistic scum. So yeah, it's very difficult these days to think about, to find good examples of great men whose footsteps you can try to follow in and kind of learn and inspire yourself from. Too much of HR, yeah. No more girl jokes, yeah. The cure to depression, honestly, it makes a good point. Oftentimes, the cure to a lot of mental illnesses and self-confidence issues, it could be caused by just your physicality and dietary, and we will get onto that a little bit later. Like just working out, going up for walks, lifting, drinking water, and sleeping 8 hours a day instead of like getting 4 hours of sleep and living on Coke and chocolate buttons, unsurprisingly, does wonders for your mental health. And then from being in a better physical state and a better mental state, things get better from there, and then you fix things that way. Yeah, I mean, isn't the natural state of the Polish man is being like horribly depressed though anyway? I've always known Polish men to be highly depressive and miserable whiners. It's part of living in Poland. Don't do illegal trafficking. No, don't do illegal trafficking. Be masculine and not arrogant, yeah. Andrew Tate is arrogant and not masculine. Indeed, well said, Extreme. In fact, I would say that Andrew Tate is actually highly feminine, because all he seems to do all day is talk about how much jewelry he owns as he like fucking fannies about his mansion wearing no clothes like a fucking woman. Yes, young men need strong guidance, a goal greater than yourself, and community. That's right. It used to be religion. It used to be hard physical work, although obviously not everyone can do hard physical work. But it's about serving your community, protecting your community, feeling valued in your society in a special way only men can feel. That goes beyond GDP. And I think that's one of the major problems we have in society at the moment, and that can cause a lot of issues with men and feeling and having self-confidence issues, is that in highly white-collar, in post-industrial Western society, the only real way, for many men, the only real way you can really provide in that instinctual hunter-gatherer way is your status in life. So kind of what you do for your job and how much money you make. And the problem is at the moment is that we're all broke these days. The jobs ain't doing so good. We ain't being paid very much, and a lot of policies and situations over the years has created this issue where, well, I say it's an issue, but there's a situation now where women make about the same, if not more, than men. And given the way that women, again, instinctually behave, is that women don't like going after men who are lower status than them, and that one of the primary, if not the primary indicator of status these days is purely how much money you have, which then creates this issue where the top 1% of men are sleeping with the top 98% of women, which doesn't do which creates the incel problem as well, which doesn't do anyone any favors. Oh God, best of wishes there, Felix. I hope that I hope that goes well. I've actually had that issue as well with an engine overheating. I had a goddamn stone hit my radiator and cause a gnarly leak. Well said. How's it going, Tempest? Tempest, when are you having a Broadway show, Tempest? Yeah, they're against us. They want to push us down. Our feelings don't show pain. Yeah, line must go up. Increase GDP. Yeah, and that's the thing as well, Ian. Right? Is that men seem to think that having cool cars and building big muscles makes you cool to women. And don't get me wrong, women do like cool cars and big muscles. But you're going to attract more attention from men, mostly, rather than women, in those two particular cases. There's no one more interested in your muscles than other men. It can be hard to find a mentor, but men do need someone like that in their lives. Could be a dad, a coach, something like that. Yeah, and I think that's such a terrible situation the Western society is in at the moment, where there's so many fatherless children as well in their lives. I'm a fatherless child as well, but fortunately I did have a mentor growing up. My mentor growing up, his names, I had multiple mentor figures growing up. My mentorship figures were Solid Snake and Tommy Lee Jones in any 90s action movie he was in. After I watched a bunch of 90s action movies with Tommy Lee Jones, I knew on that moment I wanted to grow up and be a Texan. I wanted to live in Texas, wear cowboy hats, and talk like Tommy Lee Jones does. Texas Ranger, hell yeah. You should build big muscles to do something, not build big muscles to show off that you have big muscles. Indeed. Hello, Umbrella. And that's something I want to bring on as well, kind of tying into kind of developing yourself and getting yourself out of that space of depression, is that I guess being physically fit for aesthetic is definitely a legitimate way, I suppose, to motivate yourself to work out and get fit. But I'd always encourage people to not get strong or to not get... It's to not primarily, I guess, like develop yourself physically just for a look. Rather, you should think about what you would want to achieve athletically by working out. So what I mean by that is you should look into different kinds of like sports or competitions, or I'm not sure, what would you call swimming, right? Like in terms of just swimming itself. I guess you call it a hobby. Would you call swimming a hobby? Or like running, I suppose. Would you call those hobbies or sports? I'm not quite sure actually on what the definition between the two is. But what I mean is, right, is that I don't work out and I don't do my athletics purely for the purposes of like looking fit and sexy. I'm currently on a journey myself now to get Green Beret level fit. And the reason why I'm on a journey to get Green Beret level fit is because in the perhaps vain hopes that I do become an American one day, a part of my plan to become the ideal American I want to be would be to enlist in the army and do something relating to special forces or special operations forces. So I've looked at that and I've gone, right. So when I'm going on my fitness journey, I'm specifically tailoring it to be special operations fit. And also because I enjoy grappling, at the same time, I'm kind of considering what I need to do, what I need to work out in order to be grappling fit. So because I'm not focused on a beach body, I have a body fat percentage of about 20%. I'd say my body fat percentage is at the moment, and that's not obese, but it is on the fat side. But it's like I don't mind being on the fat side at the moment because it helps with grappling, and so it leads to this situation where I've got a lot of muscle, but I've also got a fair bit of body fat at the same time. But that's okay. I'm happy with that because there's a specific reason why I look like that. I'm doing it for the sake of improving my ability to grapple with people, because obviously weight is pressure, and pressure is strength. So that's what I'm doing it for. Whereas if you want to be like really good at swimming or running, you want to do like triathlons and stuff, then that tends to lend itself better to being a low body fat percentage rating. But then obviously to accompany the kind of in order to get really good at running and swimming, is that, well, obviously you need to do a lot of running and swimming, calisthenics, cardio, that kind of stuff, right? And then if you find yourself a nice sport or hobby that you think you'll really enjoy doing, a combat sport or whatever, then again, it's like gamifying it. It's like turning it into an RPG thing. It's like, okay, I'm working out, I'm getting stronger, I'm building up my bicep muscles, so that next time when I go to my next judo class, I can actually like hip toss Dave, the fucking 6'7", 300-pound behemoth. Because at the moment I'm 5'8", 150-pound Larry, and I can't throw anyone. If that makes sense, right? You want to develop yourself so that you get better at a hobby or a sport that you enjoy doing, and then that way it doesn't become work. It becomes a fun little challenge, right? You almost get excited. It's like, oh boy, I can't wait to get stronger so I can pull off this sick move that I saw my instructor or like another student pull off, basically. I would love to go for a commission in the United States military. Unfortunately, green card holders can commission, but they can enlist. So I would have to enlist, and then I would enlist, then I would get citizenship, and then after my 4-year contract, I would then either join Border Patrol or be a special agent for Homeland Security and specialize in immigration, particularly Indian and immigration frauds is what I'd want to do. That's the dream. Maulington, Deporter-in-Chief of Indians for the United States government, Homeland Security based, yeah. 6'7" Sneed. Hello, Mr. Purple Guy, how are you? Enjoy your evening, Mr. Purple Guy. Yes, the difference between a bodybuilder and a weightlifter. Yeah. And then people confused right now. People in the chat confused. I'll keep my Indian posting to a minimum on stream. I'll save that for Twitter. Okay, yeah, hobbies, any activity you can engage in your own time that you gradually get better at. Yeah. Military men and loving Phase Connect, an iconic do. Yeah, exactly. There's an awful lot of us who have served in the military who love Phase Connect. It's because I think, okay, we're going way off topic, but I'll just end this before I get back on it. I think the reason why so many military men love Phase Connect is because like the humor and the language of most Phase Connect VTubers remind us of that environment. Because when you're in, you know, the guys will say the most like heinous of slurs, the darkest of jokes, right? Nothing's sacred, and you get like the absolute shit like ripped out of you and stuff, like really dirty shit. And then you get out and you're in civilian life, you're in a civilian office or whatever, and then, you know, because of the way modern society is, it's all fucking stupid and gay and woman HRified. And then it's like you watch Phase Connect and they're talking like military guys, essentially, same kind of military humor, and it's like, hell yeah, I love this. This little silly pink rabbit white woman is saying that the British men and Mexican men and Latin American men should all fuck off and die, and she's screaming about how the government has a weapon, has like a weather machine that fucking that causes forest fires, right? And military guys are like, woo, hell yeah, I love this little pink rabbit, she's great. I hate it when men at the gym approach and ask about my calves. Oh yeah, I forget, Pascal Saucer and his legendary calves, yeah. Pascal Saucer, you'd stop holding out on us, bro. Tell us about how you have such legendary calves. Calves. I don't know how to say that word. Calves. Calves. I don't know. Sounds very British, that. Calves. Yes, gentlemen, you must work out your calves. Thank you very much for the 5 Swiss francs. Swiss francs, Vega. Pippa could be that 10-year NCO, that does great, but is too out of pocket for promotion. Yeah, have you seen the movie End of Watch, right? You've got like the Van Houser types who are like just stuck at corporal, like just unpromotable, because all they do is they just constantly bitch and moan and whine, and they don't volunteer or apply themselves because they don't care anymore. More the ICE's top guy. I'd rather be HSI than ICE, honestly, but then I guess Homeland Security is under ICE. Yeah. Hey, Bam. To be honest, I expect you to go a lot off topic. Yeah, we'll get back on topic now. You tried to join crime is based. It's because most of them aren't American, they're EU or Asian. Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about fucking Face Connect, is that they're all brown, they're all fucking brown ladies from like based like more like conservative countries, right? So they're like used to saying racist shit, on having racist opinions on the down low. And we can't be fucked to whine about the jokes, we get fucked enough by anything else anyway. Yeah, I'm hoping one day companies do wake up and just get rid of their HR departments. The only reason why HR exists in the first place is because your average normie manager is such a fucking stupid, lazy fucking loser. He can't be bothered to do it himself and like properly learn procedures and law. But then at the same time, it's like, I guess to some extent, it's good to offload these dumb shit tasks to something like HR so that you can do the real work that he's doing. But I don't know, if HR is what we end up with as a result of this attempt to drive efficiency, then I don't know, I really would rather just get rid of HR and just leave it up to the managers. And if they don't want to do it and they can't keep up, then fuck them off and find someone who will, quite frankly. Lacist. HR, Himeme Rie, by the way, is HR. Yeah, it is to integrate. This is the thing though as well, is that they've made like this entire fucking, they've convinced everyone that what they do as a science is HR. They've done well to make themselves appear like a crucial part of business intelligence when they're really not. They've got like these, they've got like this whole certification system, and they've got like these degrees and these levels, and it's like, oh, we've got all this science about what HR does and the value we provide, and it's like, you fucking talking absolute shit, you don't do nothing. Then my last two, oh yeah, I forget that HR does stuff like payroll, to be fair, okay, but then maybe we could just have like a finance, that we could just have the payroll department and get rid of everything else. Yeah, I can imagine, Cole, I can imagine shelving. I didn't know how the fuck to shorten your name now, call you Colloid. I agree with you entirely. Treating men, it is actually, that's a very good way to say it. It is a downstream of treating men as defective women. That is very much what's going on in society these days. We're being treated as defective women who just need to be shoveled full of fucking drugs, and we just need to talk. But then when we do talk, they call us, they tell us to man up, and they call us gay and retarded and shit, and that will call us worthless. So it's like, okay then. You're a hater of kindergarten HR? Yes, I am, very much. It is the DMC 1 Castle soundtrack. You are not crazy. I fucking love Devil May Cry 1. Hang on, last tangent and we'll get back on track. Stop taking me off course, chat. You know how I get. It doesn't take much to distract me. All right, last tangent. I've forgotten my tangent already, actually. What was my tangent gonna be? Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, no, I remember now. So my last tangent is that I remember my dad bought me Devil May Cry 1. The day it came out on PlayStation 2 in like 2001, I want to say. And does anyone else have like this little adventure, this universe that you've built in, this anime-like universe you've built in your head from a very young age, right? And then it's like, I still have this little anime universe in my head that I've had since I was like 7 or 8 years old. And the two major influences on my own little world in my head is the Devil May Cry universe and the anime Kaze no Stigma, right? So kind of what's going on in my head is that kind of like, I'm kind of like Dante, right? I'm like this Gary Stu kind of person. I'm not demonic, right? But I'm this guy who's got these powers and all these strengths and shit, right? And I have a tortured background. You know, my dad liked Sparta. He was killed. He's a great warrior, and he was like killed and all that shit. My mother, and killed by demons and monsters and shit like that, right? And then I was raised by myself, and then I became a great, you know, wandering, the black swordsman, the wandering black swordsman with all these elite special powers only I have, and everyone's fucking, I can kill everything and beat everyone, and everyone's always is like, oh my god, it's the black swordsman. I've got one of those fucking. But I've never left my Chuni Buyo, or however you say it, stage, and I've been developing this little anime world in my head. The same one. It's like 23, 24 years old now, and all I eat is pizza like Dante. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. A psychologist could probably tell me why I've like merged Devil May Cry and Kaze no Stigma into my own personal headcanon fantasy universe. Probably something to do with like daddy issues or abandonment issues or something. Because one of the themes of Kaze no Stigma is there's like this old Japanese family that's really good at like hunting spirits and demons and shit, right? And it's like the heir to this family is a shit and gets like cast out as a kid, and then he comes back, like he gets summoned back 15 years later to help them, and he's like developed all these, you know, it's like oh, what's it called, fucking that manhwa that everyone loves, the Solo. It's like Solo Leveling, basically, before Solo Leveling was a thing. He's come back from exile after 15 years, invited by like the family's deputy head, and he's like at grips with his father, who hates him for being a failure of an heir, you know, shit like that, basically. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light. You know, hot take. All right, last tangent. I actually think the first Dante was actually very well voice acted, except for I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light, which is pretty bad. I thought the vast majority of his line readings were actually really good. I actually like him more than the new guy who took over from 4 onwards. I forget his name. Chat reflect streamer. Dante is cool and best in game. He shoots the gun. Oh god, who used to watch fucking RB and the Chief? Oh wait, no. Who used to watch fucking RB and the Chief back in the day? I fucking loved that. I started watching that again recently. God, that was such a good. We had such good machinima back in the day. Master Chief is a pretty cool guy. He doesn't afraid of anything. I can't remember the line now. Kaze no Stigma. Man, I haven't heard of that anime in a while. Yeah, I really like Kaze no Stigma actually. It holds up in the modern age of fucking slop, honestly. Actually, hang on, I need to put chat back. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any donations and messages. To be fair, is there a way to say that line that isn't dumb? No, there honestly is not. Hey, Clanker. Mail exists. I usually get mine from Smugglerana. Yeah. Okay, so we covered depression, alright. But then there are anxiety disorders as well. So anxiety affects many men, but it's often overlooked or minimized due to societal norms about masculinity. I think the thing is, we all get anxiety in situations like uncertainty. It's normal to get anxiety, and it's important not to think that there's something wrong with you for feeling anxious. And it's important as well to not take anxiety like so seriously. Don't be so dramatic about anxiety as well. Like change, doing new things, being in unfamiliar territory, it's scary for a lot of people. There's some people who thrive in such an environment, but a lot of us, and I'm kind of the same way as well, is that I do enjoy my stability and familiarity up to a certain point. I'd say after about 3 years of doing the same thing, I get bored and want to move on. But it's like, again, don't think that you're broken or that you're don't think that there's something wrong with you because you're suffering from anxiety. It's normal. I would encourage men to try and push through that and challenge themselves, because it is worth it. It's definitely worth it to go for it. You'll be surprised. You'll surprise yourself of what you can accomplish. Well, this explains so much about you. Fuck you, I'm gonna call you out in a minute, Pascal Saucer. Actually, I've got something in here about you, Pascal Saucer. Fucking Pascal Saucer ass bitch, coming in my chat and saying shit. Fuck you, Pascal. Oh, your baby bro has anxiety, like pretty severe. Ah, oh, bless him. You know, I'm one of those people where I get anxiety in anticipation, right? So it's like, once I'm in a situation, I'm good. I'm like cool as a cucumber. But like, I get worried waiting for the fucking pizza man to arrive at the door, right? That I can't do anything when I know a pizza's coming in the next, being delivered in the next 20 or 30 minutes, right? I am fucking just shut out of doing anything. So yeah, it does it affects us in many weird and interesting ways. And then you start drinking, it causes even more anxiety. You know, I've never gotten drunk. I don't drink, so I've never experienced substance abuse, whether that's drinking or drug abuse. But how's it going, Jerry, as well, by the way? You've got an obsession, Maulington. An obsession with who? Obsession with who? Well, I've got an obsession with Pascal sauce, so I do like my Pascal posting. He's like me, it's very perfectionist. I see. We're very close. Yes, I get I get performance anxiety as well. Not performance anxiety in the bedroom. Not that kind of performance anxiety. But I feel like it's actually gotten worse over time. Like I feel like a lot of pressure playing competitive games like by myself now. You know, stuff like Dota or Counter-Strike, you know, matchmaking. I don't know why. I just feel like I get an uncomfortable amount of pressure playing those kinds of games these days. These days, I mostly just want to play slow, almost self-playing games where I don't have to worry about putting too much into it. Oddly. How do you think I feel? No woman's gonna be. Look, when the woman comes in, put me on the phone, put me on the TV. I'll speak to the woman for you as well. I'll be, I'll be your fucking shoulder angel. All right. Well, we can talk. I'll talk to your girl for you as well. Substance abuse, caffeine and sugar. God, keep me away from sugar. I love sugar. Substance abuse, but I love substances. I love hydration or fluids like Coca-Cola. A Brit, not experienced drinking or gonna drink. Yeah, true. Yeah, there are British people out there like me who are teetotal. Do some grappling tournaments. The anxiety of waiting for your next match is so high. So, well, this is the thing, Pavlo. I have done grappling tournaments, and weirdly enough, grappling's like my happy place. So, I don't get anxiety waiting between matches in grappling tournaments or on the mats. I'm fucking excited. I'm good to go. I'm like, I want to get it out of the way. Let's go now. Let's go. But yes, substance abuse challenges as well are a common thing. That afflicts men. So substance abuse is a common coping mechanism as well for mental health struggles among men, and it's often hidden and untreated. And it's like, look, boys, don't drink your sorrows away, please don't. Be careful with the drink, all right? Drinking alcohol, it's a devil's soup, all right? Don't drink it, boys. If you're feeling sad, all right, and you feel like you want to drink, you come to Lord Maulington's stream, okay? Me and the boys here, all of us men, or 47 of us watching right now, okay? We're just here to have a bloody good time and to look after one another, all right? For time to time, we can be a bit racist on this channel, all right? I can be a bit racist on this channel sometimes. But look, I don't care whether you're a Mexican manlet, a Filipino who spends all his days on VT talking about how much you want to rape the latest Hololive cunny VTuber. I don't care if you're some bloody colonial from Australia. I don't care whether you're some gay German communist who goes to S&M dungeons, alright? If you're here with me right now, alright, if you're here right now, we're just here, we're having a good time. We're from all backgrounds, different colours, different religions, whatever. We're just here to have a good time, look after each other, talk about stupid guy shit, talk about gaming, anime, and most of all, Phase Connect, right? Okay. Look, racism and Phase Connect racism brings us all together, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, boys. Hello, Hagfish. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. I'm sorry that your beloved Globy has disbanded, Hagfish. Fortunately, I think your beloved Penny Puffball is going to be just fine though. I can say suicide though, but it'll probably get the stream demonetized and restricted. Go get yourself some whiskey, Maulington. I don't drink. You'll never get me to drink whiskey. I listen to surprisingly dark. Hey George, I'm trying to find the ideal background music for my yapping streams, and I just end up gravitating towards PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 like game soundtracks because I don't know, there's something magical about them. Particularly Devil May Cry. I really like Devil May Cry, but I'm already drinking more. I can't have my Friday evening. But I'll give you a special exemption, Baron, because I think you're Russian, right, Baron? Or you're a Cyrillic man, right? At any rate. Sorry, I'm an ignorant little English person. So basically, all South Americans are Mexican to me. All Eastern Europeans are Russian to me. What else is there? All Africans are Ethiopians to me. So I don't know. All Southeast Asians are yellow to me. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I predicted this would happen last year. Yeah. That's fine. No, that's fine. If you just drink for fun, for socializing, that's fine. It's like, just don't drink yourself to death, please, for the love of God. Please, I'd rather you come here instead. We can talk about Phase Connector. We can talk about stupid shit. Isn't that more fun? Nostalgia, relatability, and entertainment are some of the most powerful of drugs, honestly. You want to talk about substance abuse, there's nothing I fucking love more than talking about VTubing and the early 2000s, basically. And it's free as well. It's free. We can talk about that shit for free. We don't have to spend money on it. A round of Ethno-Guesser. I should probably play Ethno-Guesser. I'd be terrible at it, but maybe that might be part of the fun. I'm shocked the real cracks took this long to materialise. Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much for the gifted membership, iStudy Buddy. Thank you, thank you. The good old days, yeah. Hey, got it. Pascal Silver got it. Fuck you. I'm going to have a special membership message which just says fuck you, Pascal Silver. Okay. And then, yeah, I guess we've already kind of gone over the impact of social norms. So the social norms discourage men from expressing their emotional distress, which leads to an underreporting of symptoms and delayed support. But then the thing is, people always say you go to therapy or use some kind of, paid service to deal with your issues. And I don't know. Maybe it might work for some people. I imagine there might be people here who've gone to therapy or whatever and said it's really worked for them. I don't know. I guess in some cases it can work, sure, but I tend to more gravitate towards seeking that comfort in other men or exercise or doing things, working on projects, focusing on self-improvement, really, rather than spending an absolute fortune paying someone to listen to me. Give me life advice, right? I'd rather be in the company of inspirational men who can help me along and give me that inspiration in my life. So yeah, again, that's kind of where it comes into trying to reach out to your homies. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't reached out to one of your homies in a while, make sure you reach out to him, make sure he's okay, because one day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes years, becomes a decade. I don't know, maybe one day you'll realise that you actually really miss hanging out with that dude. And now, yeah, last online 15 years ago. Big sad. Don't distract me, Maulington. I'm driving after being sent home from work. Weirdly, no one wants their car worked on Black Friday. Oh, best of luck, Pascal Saucer. Pascal Saucer, have you ever thought about getting an AMP license and making fat fucking stacks as an aeroplane mechanic? Working for the major airlines. I don't know if that's feasible for you. I hear AMP licensed mechanics can almost start on 6 figures. And it's obviously consistent work as well. Yeah, I think that generally speaking, men, we prefer to deal with problems and make a tangible action, tangible effort, actual action to deal with our problems, really, rather than just talking about them. I think the problem, it seems to work for women bizarrely, but my attitude towards just merely talking about problems is that it's almost counterproductive, I find, at least for myself, because it's like when I've got that off my chest by talking about it to another person, yeah, I feel better in the moment, but it's done nothing to, it's just temporarily removed the what's the word? It's temporarily like removed, I guess, the negative emotions I was feeling at the time. But then it's kind of like it's turned me docile. It stopped me from taking the necessary steps to permanently fix the problem. You know, it's just put a band-aid over a gaping wound, basically, by talking about my feelings. I need to actually fix and address the underlying causes of what it is that's turning me into a sad boy. Problem is investing in another field after being in the automotive repair field for so long. I mean, that's true, but then you could also consider it in terms of thinking of it like, I imagine working with tools, some of the major skills required in automotive repair would transition across WoW to at a fundamental level to the skill set of working on airplanes. And then you also need to take a look at the monetary reward of working in an AMP style role. It's like if you're making like $100,000 in a reasonable quality of living area, and you're making 50k in automotive repairs, then does the seniority really matter if you're being paid twice as much? I don't know. We're not here to try and find Pascal a job, I guess, at the major airlines. I don't know, it's just a thought. I'm an engineer too. Correct. Can you do that airplane mechanic thing? No, engineers and mechanics are two entirely different kind of professions. So mechanics are the guys who work hands-on with stuff and like fix and maintain it, whereas engineers, we tend to be the guys who design things. Really, we don't actually work on them. I mean, some engineers might work on them. There's certain types of engineering where you do physically work on things, but most engineering revolves around designing, programming, conception rather than doing, basically. Welcome back, Felix. Not too much damage, I hope. Not too many issues with the engine. Oil started stealing. Oh my god. Did it shoot up like a big geyser, or did the oil behave itself? You can make 6 figures turning wrenches, you just don't be in the right shop. Okay, fair dues. Oh god. Best of luck, fucking hell. What a thing to experience on a Friday evening as well. Sorry to hear that, Felix. Alright, next slide. Okay, so let's recognize and navigate issues with self-doubt. So what are some of the major signs of self-doubting, other than the usual things like obviously depression and whatnot? So you've got indecision. So indecision is often a sign of self-doubt, leading to hesitation in making choices and taking action. You've got negative self-talk as well. So negative self-talk diminishes your confidence in yourself. It reinforces those feelings of inadequacy, and it reinforces your fear of failure. And then you've also got the avoidance of challenges as well. So avoiding challenges is often a behavioural sign of self-doubt that limits your personal growth and achievement. To be honest, I'm at this stage most of the time. Yeah, it's really challenging. It is challenging, but we're all different. We all want different things out of life, and we've all got different, I guess, dreams that would make us content with life. So it's difficult, really, to identify and, I guess, kind of fix every single person in the chats here's specific issues. But what the best thing we can kind of do to try and help people is to try to reframe some of the challenging behaviors and outlooks you have on life at the grassroots level, and then hopefully that will allow other things to click into place. So what are some of the root causes and triggers of self-doubt? So it often comes from negative past experiences and fear of failure that affect confidence. I still get essentially almost post-traumatic stress disorder from my fucking exams, right? To this day, even though I haven't been to university in like 10 years or whatever the fuck now, I can't remember how long ago I graduated now. Even though I haven't been to university in 10 years, I still wake up at like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning some nights, having a panic attack, thinking I've got coursework or an exam the next day, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm a grown adult now working a full job. I don't have exams or studying to do. I don't have to freak out about my maths exams and my university level mathematics exams anymore. Don't have to learn about the characteristics of fucking fluids, which is some of the worst engineering theory you have to learn is fluids. But it can come from that. It can come from, as well, particularly in my case, it can come from unfortunate experiences with parenting as well. Like tiger moms, for example, are a bad thing. Like having overbearing or, tiger mothers, dads or whatever, constantly pushing you to go into like safe, boring careers that you really aren't interested in, and constantly trying to like persuade you and nag you out of doing stuff that you really want to do. It's particularly something I think that a lot of young men suffer from when they are from single mother backgrounds, because they're missing that element from having a two-parent kind of relationship where it's a natural instinct of a mother to want to look after, nurture and care for her children, whether it's a son or daughter. So they tend to be overly protective of you and encourage you to take safe strategies that result in you not taking any risk, essentially. But the problem is that most normal, healthy, red-blooded men, we fucking love a bit of risk, right? We love a challenge, right? We wanna be all what we can be. We don't want to be a police officer, right? We want to be on the SWAT team, right? We don't want to be military police. We want to be Delta Force, right? And I think that's one of the major problems that a lot of young men have these days as well, is that they have, unfortunately, their overbearing, overprotectionist mothers constantly telling them that they can't do what they want to do, and they're missing dear old dad who just shrugs his shoulders and goes, yeah, fuck it, go for it. You know what? Yeah, if you want to join the undercover drugs gang and like fucking rub shoulders with the Mexican cartel, like undercover, and do like that undercover shit, yeah, fucking go for it. Hell yeah, that's badass, right? I think we're missing a lot of that as well. Hey, Clobby, how's it going, buddy? Gamba. Exams stress you out, but not grappling tourneys? Interesting. Yeah, the thing is, I'm very much someone who prefers to do things. I prefer to be on my feet and do like green, or I'm the kind of person, I prefer to be a police officer than an investigator, if that makes sense, right? I'd rather be a cop than an FBI agent, but at the same time, some of the shit that FBI and Homeland Security do is really fucking cool at the same time there. So it'd be like, yeah. Don't know. I haven't quite decided yet in my future fantasy time in America if I'm going to join Border Patrol, or if I'm going to go into special agent, what is it, 1811 style federal law enforcement agent work. Take care, Vega. Have a good evening, buddy. You're a Fed? I want to be a Fed. I want to be a Fed or a cop. Either one in America. I want to be an American cop or a Fed. Yeah. I don't want to be gay ass ATF or DEA though. I want to be HSI or ICE is what I want to do. That's my passion. Immigration is my passion, if you can believe it or not. He'll knock on us. No, I won't knock on you. I don't want to be I did apply for MI5. I actually was successful in applying for MI5 when I was at university. I almost went for MI5 in the end, but I don't want to be in the UK anymore, Hagfish. I've had enough of the UK. I want out of here. Right here. I don't like it. DEA sees the most gunfights. Yeah, but DEA don't really work immigration though, and I work immigration. Maulington starting to glow, yeah. Could be a US Marshal as well. It could be a US Marshal, but then I hear they make US Marshals just work the prisons for the first 5 years. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I really want the Silver Star of the US Marshal. I like the idea of being like an independent agent. I like the idea of being Homeland Security Special Agent and like rocking up to, like Indian consultancies and like fake universities and like interviewing, the immigration fraud and the financial fraud and the business fraud people. Basically, it's what I really want to do. I really want to do that. No, I would be the chief Indian hunter of the United States. Yes, I'll have a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. I think he's got the point. Where were we? So we've got external pressures as well. We've gone over the external pressures a little bit, but you know, society expects an awful lot from men, and we don't get very much positive encouragement when we're down on our luck. And then there's also the personal triggers you have to look at, you have to take into account as well. So identifying what your personal triggers are essential for developing strategies to cope with and overcome self-doubt. So again, this comes into, you need to have a solid idea of who you want to be, and you need to be honest with who you are currently. And I'll kind of go over why that's important in just a sec once we get to the actual life advice, I suppose, and we try to reframe some common ways of thinking that men suffer from that get in the way of them being successful. So let's move on to that. So let's go over some effective strategies for overcoming self-doubt. So obviously the major thing you want to do in relation to self-doubt is you want to build self-awareness and self-compassion, and that's a really important thing. We need to find a way. If you don't, we need to find a way to get you to love yourself. It's basically that at the fundamental level. How do we get you to learn to love yourself? So to do that, you need to understand your thoughts and feelings. So you need to recognize and acknowledge that internal thoughts and emotions is key to building your self-awareness. You need to make sure that you practice self-kindness. So you need to be gentle and compassionate towards yourself, because it helps reduce that self-doubt and it promotes your mental well-being. And particularly when it comes to not just your personal development, but professional development as well, is because for many people that is just as, if not more important even than their own personal development, is professional. Really, in an awful lot of cases, what you'll find is the only barrier between you and your happiness, the only barrier between you and achieving what you want to achieve in life, is your own perception. So what I mean by that is that the common man is fucking clueless. Whereas if you are sufficiently introspective and therefore intelligent enough to properly consider risk and identify your weaknesses and then have that attitude where you want to work on them and improve them, then that puts you actually well above the common man who is a fucking NPC, quite frankly. Very, very Marcus Aurelius of you. But then you have to report, oh no, but I won't, I want to just target the Indians specifically though. I don't want to pick up cases that involve Mexicans or Malaysians or Asians or whatever. Just the Indian cases I want. And then your internet history and whatever you've done on the internet, this clip is going to be used to take you down. Yeah, that's true. For legal reasons, this is a joke. Yeah. I proposed the audition for Bond a while ago. You know, I prefer Roger Moore to Roger Moore's my favourite James Bond, but Sean Connery does have his moments. Yes, Miss Moneypenny, I'll have a vodka martini shaken, not stirred. That's a woman's drink as well, by the way. Not that I drink alcohol, but a vodka martini. Ugh, shaken, not stirred. Fucking woman-ass drink. Give me a beer. I'm glad you agree that Moore was the best James Bond. He very much was the best James Bond. He was. Roger Moore's James Bond was very, very campy, but it was fun, as well as it could be kind of cool and serious at times. Like Roger Moore's Bond has the best supporting character in the entire James Bond series as well. It has Sheriff J.W. Pepper from the Louisiana State Police, who is the best like sidekick in any series. I fucking love. Actually, seriously, Dalton was actually the best Bond. If you're operating on the who's like the most faithful and realistic to the books, and yes, Dalton is very much the like hardcore, stone cold, ice-blooded killer. But then he also had like a ruthless, like dark sarcasm to him as well, which could be quite funny. So yes, Dalton's Bond was absolutely fantastic. He should have been in a lot more. But I do like the larger than life James Bond, like Daniel Craig, he was a 10th of Timothy Dalton's James Bond. I sure do, boy. Fucking, oh my god, I love chat. If I ever lived in Louisiana, fucking Sheriff J.W. Pepper would be like my male fantasy. Just fucking. You try that my bayou, boy, I'd haul your ass. If you little pointy heads got yourself out of them pajamas, you wouldn't be late for work. Elephants, they're Democrats, Maybell. You're not thinking I sure am, boy. Ever heard of Evel Knievel? Now listen to me when I'm talking to you, boy. Hey, Lima. How's it going, buddy? You know, I actually really liked Pierce Brosnan's James Bond. Pierce Brosnan's Bond is the Bond, obviously, that I grew up with, my generation. My first James Bond, I think, was Tomorrow Never Dies, I think. Actually, no, that probably wasn't the first James Bond movie I ever watched, but that was like the first one that I could have gone to the cinema to watch, right? I think I did watch Sean Connery Bond first before I watched Brosnan Bonds, I think. Pierce Brosnan is my favourite. I didn't know, I think, God, you know, Pierce Brosnan's Bond had the best style out of the entire series as well. Like, every single one of Pierce Brosnan's suits in those Bond movies were absolutely fucking phenomenal. I wanted to buy a bunch of them myself, but they're all like fucking multiple thousands of pounds. They're really pricey. GoldenEye was awesome. Yeah, well, GoldenEye was good. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so, okay. So I've fucking forgotten my, I forgot my fucking slides order now. Okay, here we go. So yeah. The one thing you want to do, boys, if you're suffering from self-doubt, is you want to adopt some positive thinking and some reframing techniques. And so we'll go over this in a little bit. So you want to challenge your negative thoughts, you want to reframe situations positively, and you want to build resilience. So let's kind of go over some of those concepts, I suppose. So I think to stop feeling sorry for yourself and start feeling proud, you need to acknowledge your growth. You need to challenge the negative thoughts and learn to love yourself, right? So in order to do that, you need to focus on what you have achieved and what you've overcome, rather than comparing yourself to others and sort of considering that time you've spent in the loser zone as countless years of your life that you've wasted away. Because it's something that I think a lot of people, particularly people older than me, but it's something even I've suffered from as well at 32. So I take a look at kind of what I was doing with my life when I was in my teens and what I was doing in kind of like my early to mid 20s, and sometimes I do kind of think back to that, and I think that I've like horribly wasted those years, and that I wish I could just go back and do it all again. But it's not a healthy attitude to have, because for one thing, there's nothing you can do about it now anyway. You're here in the present now, you can't go back and redo it, so dwelling on it serves no purpose. But it's important to remember as well is that, you know, when you need to think about the time you spent in the loser zone when you were younger, right? That's it. Try not to think of it as the loser zone. Try not to think of it as like a point of failure in your life, really. Think of it more of that the time you've spent in the shadow realm instead. So the time you've spent not being where you want to be has actually forged you into the beautiful, brilliant man that you're going to be from now on, right? Like, think of it that way. Because even if you went back in time but then didn't have your memories, you'd probably make all the same mistakes anyway, right? So even though you haven't spent an ideal chunk of your life doing what you feel like you should have done, it's all led up to this point. It's not, those experiences you've now grown up, you've matured, and now you're motivated. You've been a bit slower than other people, but now you're finally at that point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to do something with my life now, right? And I really want you guys to remember this as well, by the way. Like, seriously, this is really important. So for me, I like doing my own thing, and I don't give a fuck what other people think if it's in the way of what I want to do or achieve. And that can be kind of like in the lower level. So what I mean by that is that I have absolutely zero concern or like sense of shame about going to the movies or going to eating at a restaurant by myself with no one else with me. I know that's like a really big thing that women in particular, funny enough, tend to find like really bizarre and scary. They're like, you go to the movies by yourself, you go out to restaurants and eat by yourself. That's like so scary. People will think you're weird. And I'm like, well, they probably won't, for one thing, but second of all, like, who gives a fuck? I really want to go to this restaurant and eat, and I don't have anyone to go to, so I'm going to do it. I don't care what they think. Fuck them. They're in the way of my happiness. If they're in the way of my happiness, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Right? You need to think about things in that way as well. Hello, Pascal. Pascal's back. What did he say? I'm home and ready to chat. Hell yeah, boys. That's what it's all about. I don't know. That's what, let me know as well, boys, whether rather on the stream or on Twitter or Discord or wherever the fuck you want to communicate with me. If you just want to have like a Zatsudan stream where we just ramble and talk about stupid shit. Women are allowed to, Tempest, you're allowed. Although I grant you the title of honorary man, Tempest. Since I do sexually harass your husband, I suppose you have a right to be here, Tempest. But yeah, if you guys like want, I guess, like a 2-3 hour moment throughout the day where you're bored, you've got like nothing better to do, and you want to like just fucking hang out with Maulington and just chat about stupid shit, let me know. I'll try to, if I can't think of anything to do with like men's mental health or anything like intellectual or worthwhile, then we can just talk about anything and everything if that's useful to you. But anyway, yeah, no, that's fine, Pascal. Yeah, just do it for the boys. Exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, boys. Because this is the thing, right? I've got a lot of friends in real life, but the problem is that all my friends in real life, they're all in their, obviously they're the same age as myself now, they're all in their early 30s. They've all got fucking families now. They've got children and wives and shit. I'm still a fucking childless loser, so I don't have anyone to talk about anime, VTubing, and no one to game with anymore now, because all my friends have fucking grown up and become family men. So I'm fucking stuck here. The best I can do, I hope to have, is a normie conversation about stupid normie shit I don't care about. So I get it, right? You can have a lot of friends, but be absolutely barren in people to talk about some of your favorite hobbies like VTubing and anime, right? And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do, boys. Talk about cool, superior race, autistic weeb shit instead of the fucking normies and their dumb, gay, raising children and starting families bollocks that I don't care about. I secretly resent them for. I want 3 daughters. I want 3 daughters, by the way. I don't think I'm not breeding with a British woman. I would not wish that upon. I think it's unethical in this day and age to raise a child British, quite frankly. If I get to America, I'm gonna get my 3 daughters, all right? I'm gonna marry a nice Texan. I'm gonna marry a nice Texan woman with blonde hair and the big tits. We're gonna have so many children. No, not Indian daughters. No. I mean, to be fair, at this point, given the state of the average British woman, I really would rather date an Indian woman than a British woman, quite frankly. But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah. And so as I said, so I want you to remember this. I don't give a fuck. I like doing my own thing, and I don't give a fuck about what other people think if it's in the way of what I want to do or what I want to achieve. And it's important to remember, sometimes like you grossly overthink things and you get paranoid, right? And then you talk yourself into situations or positions that you're not in. 99% of the time, other people don't give a shit about who you are or what you're doing or even realize you exist. Like when you go in the gym and you go in for a workout, you might feel like you might be a bit scared or intimidated in going to the gym or like picking up jiu-jitsu classes when you're like really fat and out of shape. But what you have to remember is that like literally only 1% of people in your like vicinity will even recognize that you exist, and the other 99% of people, if they don't give a shit, then they'll just be really supportive, and they're actually rooting for you. They do have some form of like compassion or respect for you, for doing what you're doing. Like I take my mum to the gym, right? And every time I go to the gym, she will like turn to me and start talking about like how fat and gross and out of shape and pathetic some of the other people at the gym are. And I'm like, Mum, for fuck's sake. But then at the same time, though, despite thinking like that, even though she's one of those 1%ers, she will go, well, to be fair though, at least they are coming to the gym to try and fix that. So there is that respect there, right? Pippa Pebblesworth gave me an outlook on what a British woman would be like, and I'll just run away and then go for the absinthe if I have to escape a nightmare. Oh dear. Yeah, best of luck, Felix. We're praying for you, buddy. Everyone at the gym there is up to work out too, no pressure, and anyone being rude is an asshole, and some gym boulder. Yes, exactly, that's right. It's like, if we need to put it in anime terms for guys watching, most gym goers, particularly the hardcore gym bros who you might be intimidated by, are just like that workout club from Mob Psycho. Like, I shit you not, I remember when I was going to the gym for the first time and I had like no idea how to use the fucking gym machines. I had like this guy who was like switching machines like every 1 minute and was jacked as fuck, like in between his sets. Just very, wouldn't baby me, but he'd just like treat me like a mature adult and like show me how to properly like do shit, and then like ask permission to like help me with my form and stuff. So I mean, that is most guys, honestly. Yeah, exactly, most of the gym bros are super chill. So yeah, don't feel intimidated about picking up grappling, and don't feel intimidated about going to the gym either. And another thing I'll say as well is, don't do this stupid shit, right, where you think to yourself, oh, before I can do X, I need to spend a certain amount of time doing Y as a kind of step below that somebody for X. Look, don't do that shit. Just jump straight into X. The best way to get physically fit enough to do grappling is to just pick up grappling. And then, yeah, you can do gym to supplement, to help you get fit so you can improve grappling. But like, don't constantly make excuses and do half measures that get in the way of you achieving where you want to be. And it can apply to jobs as well, right? So if you want to be an FBI agent, apply to the FBI, right? Don't say to yourself, oh, okay, I want to apply to the FBI, but they're gonna reject me. So I'm gonna be a police officer for a certain amount of years first, and then when I'm ready, when I feel like I'm ready, and then I'm going to join the FBI. Now, and it's like, if you do that, you're never going to apply to the FBI. You're gonna go be a cop. You're going to be tired and exhausted being a cop all the time. You're going to get busy. You're going to get in your little routine, and then that dream of joining the FBI is before you know it, you're going to age out, and you'll never join in the FBI. And it's like, look, maybe in that certain circumstance, maybe you before you could join the FBI, you would need some law enforcement experience because you're not good enough the way you are, right? So it's not the best example, but if you see what I mean, right? It's like, if you can direct entry into something, direct entry into it, and then if you fail, then what you can do is you can address the things that caused you to fail, and maybe that does mean you do something in a step at like a lower level. You do take that job at a step down. But then that's the thing though, is that you're making a conscious effort to improve the weaknesses that blocked you from getting that direct entry job you wanted or whatever. And then you'll just reapply when as soon as you're eligible, right? If there's like a 1 year reapplication, that's fine. Join the police, you spend 6 months in the academy, and then you're on patrol for 6 months, apply again. If you fail again, doesn't matter, do it again next year, and eventually you'll get there. So yeah, always don't lose sight of what you actually want to do in life, and don't try to talk yourself out of it by trying to placate yourself with this little, oh, I need to do this first, I need to get in this position, and then I'll be ready for that. It's like, nah, keep applying, keep failing. If you keep failing, learn from it, eventually you get there. Do that, I think. You can be in Royal Navy First Maulington, that's all. Yeah. Commander Bond. Got drafted for 8x6. Yep. I'm not intimidated about going to the gym. I'm just old and lazy. Working 14 days straight most weeks. Reopening a hotel was hard. Oh my god, better luck with that lever. And that's always the problem, right? It's always in the way, is that sometimes you're just so damn fucking tired, and you're just so busy that it gets, that it gets in the way of you doing something you really want to do. But then that's the point, right? Is that's why you should try to direct apply to the thing you want to do to begin with, because you might never be able to, you might never get a second chance because life just comes at you too fast. Yeah, I don't think there is much of a Royal Navy these days, quite frankly. If you're already physically tired there, that it's hard to be motivated to go to the gym. It is, but what you'll find is it's kind of bizarre. It's like you might be too physically tired to go to the gym, but then when you go to the gym, you feel fucking great afterwards and you get like a second wind. You're full of energy, you're full of like adrenaline, you're good to go, right? So sometimes it seems counterproductive, but trying to get yourself into the routine of going to the gym straight after work might actually help. If you've got the time, obviously, it might actually help you deal with, again, those underlying physical issues, like fatigue issues that prevent you from doing things. And one of the big ways to kind of get yourself out of the funk, one of the best ways to kind of get yourself out of this situation where you're constantly procrastinating or you're like constantly making excuses to get out of doing things, is to try to stick to a schedule. If you can build like a schedule that you stick to for just a couple weeks, then eventually a schedule that you actively kind of consciously follow then just becomes a routine. And because of the way most people are, once you build a little routine for yourself, it becomes really easy to stick to that routine, because it becomes, well, that thing that you just do because it's what you do every week, if that makes sense. The problem is that you can still very easily fall off of that pathway and go back to being like a lazy fucking slob. I fall into that pit of going back into a bit of a fucking lazy slob sometimes myself. But again, I think like shame is a great motivator as well. If you can kind of like instill yourself that instinctual reaction that when it's 5 o'clock and normally you're supposed to go to the gym, but instead you're like sat here eating chocolate buttons and gooning into anime prawn, right? You need to keep reminding yourself you should be in the gym, and keep feeling ashamed of yourself. Actually reinforce those negative feelings. Actually be hard. That's when you can be hard on yourself. Is that when you are being a fucking lazy slob and you are letting yourself down? That's when you can be hard on yourself. Then that's when you need to give yourself a kick up the ass and stick to your healthy routine. What? You know what I've said. You gotta rest sometimes too. You don't have to go to the gym every day. You don't have to go every single day. I go to the gym 5 times a week, and then I just do cardio 2 days a week. And then if my body's spent, if I'm just too tired, then I might take a week off to recover. Simple. More, be proud of me. I've been waking up at 7 a.m. and journaling instead of doom scrolling. Oh, congratulations, Tempest. That's actually huge. I bet you're feeling much better by not doom scrolling anymore and journaling instead as well. When I was a kid, I used to write like short stories, like literally like 2 sides of A4, handwritten short stories after I came back from school every day. And that, I don't know what that did. That just made me feel great, right, doing that instead of being on the PlayStation all the time. Although I was essentially raised by the PlayStation. But yeah, I thought that was good. I bet you feel great doing that, Tempest. Phone addiction and doom scrolling, again, really fucks with people's like brain chemistry. Go publish those short stories. Yeah, I'd love to publish stories. Hey, Motherfrax. If you already hate yourself, and being ashamed probably isn't going to motivate consistently. Well, this is the thing. Hopefully, if you're in that situation where you've built like a little routine where you've been making progress for some time, there's like a honeymoon period, usually in most cases, right? Where it's like you're really excited about the new journey you're taking yourself on, but then eventually, you know, you might get tired or bored of doing it, and then you don't want to do it anymore. And then it's like in those circumstances, you've probably at least paved over, if not removed, those underlying issues that made you hate yourself. So at that point, it just becomes more about self-discipline, really. And so oftentimes, Like, shame of letting people down, the shame of letting yourself down is an excellent motivator to get you to do things. And it doesn't, feeling ashamed of yourself isn't about hating yourself. It's not as, it doesn't have to be as intense as that. Rather, it's more, again, it goes back to, I guess, traditional masculine values, is that men, generally speaking, don't like to let people down. It's a big part of what makes us happy boys, like a dog, is being dependable and having people rely upon us, right? It's in our biology. It's what we're hardwired to be like. So anyway, essentially what I'm saying there is that there are people who judge you or give you funny looks for you doing what you for what you want to do and for what makes you happy. Fuck them, basically. Fuck them. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Unless that leads you to doing a crime, then again, Lord Maulington did not encourage you to do a crime. Okay. I would encourage you to do good and nice and productive things for society. Ooh, Belgium. I lost 11 kilograms in counting. Hell yeah. Congratulations, Belgium. Congratulations, buddy. Belgium, give me a kiss. Don't do crimes. Don't do crimes. Unless the crime is tax evasion, then that's based. You should definitely do tax evasion. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't do a Wesley Snipes, guys. Even Wesley Snipes couldn't get away with it. If Blade couldn't get away with tax evasion, you've got no chance, all right? Tax evasion is a victimless crime. Oh, Pascal, you did tax evasion. Holy shit, new Pascal law. I've isolated from my co-workers and a lot of IRL people is because I've shunned most mainstream social media myself, not Twitter. You know, I don't use any of the major social media. Well, I use Twitter, obviously, as a VTuber, but I don't have Facebook, Insta, or like any personal social media things. So I don't have a Facebook profile or like my own personal Twitter. Lord Maulington is my personal Twitter profile because I post everything on main because I'm not a complete pussy. Right? But I mean, being like a hermit, being like some form of isolationist dude isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm very much the same way as well. I don't like other people's company for the most part. I like having myself as my only form of company, but I'm the kind of person who can cope with that because because I'm an introvert, I get all my social nutrients basically just from just achieving things and doing things and improving myself. I get everything I want out of life from that. So I don't get anything really from socializing with other people. I guess the only social thing I personally get value out of is entertaining other people, I suppose, and sometimes educating them as well. But yeah, entertaining and educating other people is the only the only positive really social interaction that I actually enjoy. And I guess it is kind of weird. It's not normal, right, for people to be a hermit, but it works for me and I'm happy. So, you know, it's fine, basically. It doesn't matter. Pascal surrendered to the IRS after a 100-day siege. Yeah. Unfortunately, Pascal, when I come to America and I do join Homeland Security, I'm afraid I'm going to have to arrest you. I'm afraid, for tax evasion. I'm very sorry. Actually, does HSI investigate tax evasion? I know they investigate fraud, but do they investigate tax evasion, or is that the FBI, or is that the Treasury? I don't know. Who does that? If buying is not owning, pirating isn't stealing. True and mega based. True, genuinely true and real. Genuinely true and real. That's the best like logic comeback ever because it is 100% true. If we're not buying games, then pirating the license, and then pirating. Actually, no. I suppose pirating a license is still piracy. But fuck them. I don't care. Yo ho, fiddly dee, a pirate's life for me. Oh yeah, it would be the IRS, wouldn't it? Yeah, IRS. I hear that IRS agents like go to the same like IRS special agents could go to like the same fucking academy that like FBI agents and DE agents go for. It just seems funny to me that like as someone who audits your taxes is also like trained on, you know, like breaching and like, you know, arresting and clearing houses and shit. Just seems funny to me. But then this is the thing: the government will never allow you to get away with not paying its taxes. It's the most important thing to the government, is making sure it gets the taxes out of it. The IRS worse than the ATF. Yes, real. IRS can also have guns, which is scary. Yeah. IRS has glowy squads. Ugh, glowy squads. Fuck them. Glowy hates. I don't know. What's everyone's opinion on Homeland Security? Are Homeland Security okay? Well, so who do we hate, guys? Tell me. Help me be more of an American. We hate the CIA, and we definitely hate the ATF more than anyone else, right? The ATF we hate the most. Do we hate the DEA? What do we think about the DEA? Do we like the DEA or not? We hate all of them. Hey, holy man. ATF takes the crown. Yeah, ATF definitely takes the crown. We hate all the state. Okay. So even the DEA, even... What about Border Patrol? We hate the government. Okay, we hate all government. Okay. Okay. Homeland Security is fine, but ATF and CIA, fuck them, yeah. What about Border Patrol? Do we like Border Patrol? The DEA is bad unless you're a Colombian American, yeah. The DEA is a waste of time. I think the DEA does have a bit of an identity crisis, doesn't it? Because Border Patrol, Customs Border Patrol, FBI, and Homeland Security all deal with drugs. So it's like, what's the point of DIA? I guess it's like, because they just have that one singular scope, it probably makes them very good at what they do, the DEA. They're probably like the best federal agency at investigating drug-related crimes. But then, as we all know, the war on drugs is just one big sham to funnel money to the CIA so that they can fund their secret black projects. So the war on drugs has been failing. It's been failing ever since fucking Ronnie Ray first declared war on drugs. So what's the point of the DEA? We may as well get rid of it. Just let Border Patrol and fucking Homeland Security work on it. Oh, did they have a terrible track record? My only knowledge of the DEA comes from Hank Schrader and Breaking Bad. I guess ICE is okay, but it can be done by a private... How did we get to Chloe Hate on a men's mental health stream? I don't know. Really, I probably started this as well. I don't remember how we got here, but I probably started it. But my knowledge of the DEA starts and ends at Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad. My name is Hank Schrader, and you can go fuck yourself. Oh dear. DOE and CBP get a pass as acceptable. Okay, fair enough. Oh, you know what? Oh my god, I'd love to work at the southern border. I'd love to work in like an El Paso, Texas border patrol station and be on like the horse unit and just like patrol the southern border wearing a white cowboy hat and riding a horse. That's so can't get any more American than that. That sounds like so much fucking fun. Imagine getting paid like 120 grand a year to fucking do horse patrol on the southern border wearing cowboy hats and shit. Maybe not. I did look at the demographics of El Paso. 88% Hispanic. Fucking hell, guys. You Americans. You aren't going to be American for much longer. The Mexicans are colonizing you. Fuck me. But this is the thing, though, is that El Paso is the headquarters for Border Patrol agents, so lassoing for Well, from what I understand as well, actually, the vast majority of Border Patrol agents are Hispanic themselves as well. So you've got this crazy situation where you've got Mexicans are arresting Mexicans on the southern border, which is crazy to think about. There's no one who hates Mexicans more than other Mexicans. I mean, it's the same thing here in the UK. There's no one who hates Indians more in the UK than other Indians. Like, seriously, if you think I'm racist towards Indians, you should hear what my Indian doctor next door neighbor thinks about Indians. Fucking hell, he's too extreme for me. No one hates this is the thing, it's not even that. There's no one who hates a legal migrant of a certain kind. There's no one who hates more a certain kind of legal migrant more than a professional legal migrant, right? That's what it is that it's professional migrants who came here like 20, 30 years ago hate the like new low class, working poor migrant, because I imagine most of the guys who came here 20, 30 years ago came to like the United States or the UK to get away from those kinds of people, right? Of course, not that I'm saying that all lower class immigrants are scum. They're absolutely not. I know every time I go to Florida, I fucking love I love the working class like Mexican people. They're like the Mexican Uber drivers that I take, and all the Mexicans working in the restaurants and stuff. I fucking love Mexicans, especially blue collar Mexicans. But obviously, you know, you tend to have a higher proportion of poorer immigrant causes most of the problems, right? Which is what we see in places like Canada and whatnot. Because Hispanics kick out the shitters and keep the ones, yeah, trying to become Americans. Yeah, you're very kind to the poors. I don't know. I do come from a poor background myself, so I don't have a problem with poors. I tend to hate the intelligentsia class, right? The doctors, well, no, the wives of doctors and dentists and lawyers and shit. Latinx, fuck, hate other Latinx, yeah. The most American thing is working Border Patrol and having a Mexican wife, yeah. Well, the thing is, I guess it's different for you, Marissa, but it's confusing for the Americans. In the UK, we have a free class system. So we have working class, middle class, upper class. So in the UK, most Americans would be most Americans who call themselves middle class in America would actually be considered working class in the UK. Like middle class in the UK definition of middle class are university educated people who are like in the top kind of 10 percentile of incomes, right? Is what we mean by middle class. Gordon doesn't need to hear this. He's a highly trained professional. Yes, well, you see, the thing is, Lima, the all those years he spent at MIT made him excellent with pushing buttons. You see, that's what you go to MIT for, to learn how to push buttons. My Spanish instructor when I was an air advisor was from Guatemala, and she hated Mexico and Mexicans. It's so funny to hear her rant. Yeah. There's no war like a class war. Hell yeah. Ah! Class in the UK and the US are very similar, but kind of different. Yeah, we just got different names and a slightly different cut-off point than Americans do, but it is very similar in other ways. Anyway. We need to reframe situations positively, getting back on track. And we need to build resilience as well. I think actually, I've already read the fucking slide, didn't I? Where the fuck am I with my notes? Oh yeah. So going back to the subject, by the way, going back to the subject about you overly concerning yourself with the thoughts of other people. In most cases, you're probably grossly overthinking how other people like perceive you in life, and I run into this trap as well. Like, I'm always fucking paranoid. I really don't want to be perceived by Face Connect, and I'm always paranoid that they know who I am and that they think I'm some kind of fucking weirdo, and I really don't want them to perceive me. I get a bit paranoid about it sometimes, and then sometimes it's like, oh, thank God. Like, they don't remember who, like Pippa thinks I'm the knows me as that Clipper guy, and I'm like, oh, thank God for that. She doesn't know who I am. Whew, right? So try not to overthink, and I guess like try not to overthink how important you are, how perceived you are, and try not to make inconsequential shit into a big deal. So, like, if you're like an aspiring VTuber, you know, don't overthink it. Don't concern yourself. Don't stress out that you have to have some kind of like big dramatic debut. Just fucking hit that go live button. Just go with the flow. Just do it. And the same thing if you just want to go to a class, you want to go to some kind of class, learn the skill, language, whatever. Just go to it. Don't ever think about it. Just rock up. See, just go for the vibes. See if you're vibing. See how it goes. The worst thing that will happen, right, is it's always scary, again, particularly when you're going to like a class and you're going to like an environment with a lot of new, strange people doing something you've never done before. It can be very scary, but it's important to remember that in most cases, the worst thing that will happen is that people will just leave you alone and not bother you, like no one will talk to you, which as an introvert is good. I'd prefer that personally, but you know, the most likely thing that will happen is that you'll receive a ton of support. You'll receive a lot of encouragement, but most importantly, you'll gain experience, and you'll gain various forms of experience when you do that. And then what happens is that your little funny brain starts whirring, and then you start to become obsessed with learning and improving on that thing, right? It's like you start min-maxing life. Again, when we talk about gamifying systems, when you do find that hobby that tickles your little brain, you just naturally want to start researching so much shit about it, and you want to start learning how to min-max life, right? And it's a wonderful feeling. I like knowing I'm getting better at something that I enjoy doing quite a bit. And then there, of course, there are that 1% of miserable cunts who make life annoying, to be sure, right? But the thing you need to remember, boys, is that when you've got people who are telling you that you can't do it, or there are people who doubt you or say that you don't belong here, remember that at the end of the day, okay, you know yourselves better than anyone else, and don't let dumb, ignorant fucking dipshits put you down when you're making such an effort to improve yourself, okay? No one is perfect. You're gonna fail. You will make mistakes, and you might even be slower than the average person, but you will eventually get there. Just as long as you show some fucking grit, right? You show some attitude and determination to succeed, then you're winning in my book. I don't want to see any of this gay pussy shit, right? Where you start crying about how some dickhead said some mean things, and now you're gonna sulk and feel sorry for yourself, and you're gonna go, oh no, I feel like I don't even want to do this anymore now because someone was mean to me, and I don't like this person. I saw a lot of that going on during like the Bao and Shondo drama thing, where I saw like some of these male VTubers were like just fucking moping and crying and sulking and feeling sorry for themselves because they're like, oh, the shit Bao and Shondo said makes me feel like I don't want to actually go ahead and be a male VTuber anymore. And it's like, look, if you want to do it, just fucking do it, alright? Don't be such a whiny bitch. Come on now. Show some fucking attitude and determination to succeed. You know what? Prove them wrong, right? Just prove them wrong. Prove your doubters wrong. Prove the people who want to put you down wrong. Right? There's no sweeter justice, all right, than proving people who put you down or think you're a joke. How do I say this? There's no sweeter justice than proving people wrong, right? There's no sweeter justice than showing people up who think you're not going to make it, all right? Spite is such a great fucking motivator. I fucking love using spite as a motivator to get me to go above and beyond to prove people wrong. It's so good. I want people to tell me that I'm gonna fail and that I can't do it and that I suck, because it just motivates me more, because I really want to prove them wrong. And I think it's important as well, though, to remember at the same time, it is normal to doubt yourself. When you do doubt yourself, it means that you're intelligent. And it means that you recognize, to some extent, the challenges that you're about to undertake. It probably means that you're taking whatever it is you're trying to do seriously, and that you respect the difficulty and your own potential limitations, all right? So you have self-doubt for a reason. Those feelings and those thoughts are there for a specific reason. Otherwise, you wouldn't have them. And it's to make sure that you properly respect and appreciate challenge and take it seriously. But just remember, just don't let your self-doubt consume you. Just don't let those negative feelings consume you, and you'll be Gucci, right? Maulington calling the shots on people like this. Yeah, I've got the stream tomorrow of Armchair talking about some of that stuff. And don't get me wrong, again, not to tangent away too much from it, but Shawan Bondo, Bao and Shondo did say some things which were, on a personal level, I don't care about anything they say. Let's say we take the worst possible bad faith interpretation of what they were saying. I still don't care. I don't give a fuck what they think. Fuck them. I'm going to do what I want, again, because I'm happy being a VTuber and I like being a male VTuber. Don't give a shit. They can say what the fuck they want. I don't care. But they did say some dumb stuff. That's a bit of a head scratcher. So they do need to be, that does need to be discussed, but at the same time, though, it's like, look, man, just fucking harden the fuck up a bit, right? And don't let silly e-girls who aren't even talking directly to you wind you up so much, right? Just go with it. Their mistake was listening to a word filtered. Yeah, this is the thing, all right? This is the best piece of advice that I can give you when it comes to women, all right? If I ever wanted a woman's opinion on anything, I wouldn't. I'd ask a man instead, because a man always has the better answers, right? That's my opinion. Woman, am I right? Yeah, woman. Hey, it's Belgian here. It's Belgian here. Did I see someone at Belgian? Belgian, where are you? Belgian, my love. Belgian, are you here? Say hello, Belgian, my love, my darling Belgian. Where is he? Is Belgian here? There he is! Oh, my beloved Belgian. I love you, my favorite Belgian. It's good to see you, lovely. Oh, hang on, I need the right toggle for this. I just don't remember which one I put it on. Hang on. Oh, shit. Which toggle is the funny thing? Actually, let me get OBS up. Oh yeah, I did it. I did do it. Oh shit, but which one was it? Hang on, my god, my own stream is highly delayed. I think I put it on L. Did I put it on L? No, I did put it on G. So then that's that. Okay, there we go. Cool. Belgian, my lovely, give me kisses, Belgian. I love you so much, Belgian. Did I put it on? I put it on J. I put it on J. Actually, not that one. God. I actually set up my keybinds for all my emojis this time. The femboy toggle. Oh no. Help. I'm being sexually harassed by a British femboy. We're entering the gay zone. We're in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We've gone into Leocon mode, yeah. Where was I? Yeah, okay. So, okay, let's talk about a little bit about how we shift our mindset then when we're struggling with self-doubt. So one thing, guys, what you really want to do is try to find the victories and you want to find victories and you want to find like gratitude for something, even the little things in life. Like a nice, honest, decent compliment from someone can go a really long way, particularly from someone who you quite respect, right? Think about some of the finer things in life as well that keep you going. Like for me, for example, Little Caesars Detroit deep dish pizza. That is definitely a pizza, by the way, not a fucking pie, Pascal saucer. It's a pizza. That keeps me going, right? I think about nice things in life. I think about Mr. Kipling's vanilla frosted fancies. I think about Detroit deep dish pizza from Little Caesars, even though I can't get it here in the UK, sadly, so actually it upsets me quite a bit. And you can't be you know, think about your family, think about your loved ones, think about stuff you've accomplished in the past. You can't be dwelling on your inadequacies and failures all the time, guys. At some point you need to give yourself a bit of credit, and you need to focus on some things that you can be really proud of, some accomplishments that you've gone through. And you need to challenge those negative thoughts, right? So you need to ask yourself, when you're being hard on yourself, right, and you're doing your introspection, remember, always ask yourself, like, how is this helpful? Like, how is this introspection helpful to me? Am I being fair to myself? Being brutally honest and critical of yourself, that deep introspection, it's such a wonderful strength, excuse me, when you use it properly. It's what makes normies gay NPC losers and us internet autistics the superior race who notices things before they do, is that ability to introspectively and think critically about ourselves. So you can leverage this mentality practically to develop yourself into a better human being, whether it's personally or professionally. However, when you're dealing with that self-doubt and you set unrealistic expectations for yourself, maybe you can't accept praise or recognize your own success, then we've got a problem here where these are probably the signs that you hate yourself, right? It's quite severe. These are signs that you hate yourself, or maybe you at least hate where you are in life right now. And this is a feeling I'm personally very familiar with, personally, and I still struggle with it from time to time. Even now, in fact, I really do struggle to accept anything I do as being in any way impressive or worthy of praise, because I have this kind of I have this awful cyclical mentality where anything I feel like anything that I'm able to accomplish is easy and unimpressive, which is how someone such as myself was able to accomplish it in the first place. And anything that's genuinely worthy and anything that's genuinely impressive is out of my reach, out of my capability to do. That's very much a feeling that I very much struggle with, right? And I think what I do and what you can try to do to reframe your regrets, maybe reframe some of those concerns you have, where you look at, you know, the things that others have and that you wish for yourself. Try to reframe it and so you're not thinking of it in terms of I'll never find a partner. Instead, try to think of it like, well, people find partners at different times. You know, I might be on the older side, but then if I go on like fucking Google or Reddit right now, there's like thousands or millions of people who are in the exact same circumstances where I am, where they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, and they still haven't found love or a partner yet either. And you know, there's loads of people out there who are in the same circumstances you are, but then despite being like much older than you or being in a worse position than you, they eventually got it, right? They eventually got what they were looking for and what you want. And so from that, what you can kind of take away from it is that they just kept trying. They learned from their experiences. And because I'm a competitive person by nature, what I do is I put a little cherry on top for myself as well when I kind of Google this stuff and see if I really am as behind as I think I am. And I'm like, right, well, fuck, I'm 32 and like I'm really disappointed in myself and I really want to do this thing. But it's like, am I just too old now? Am I too old and slow and shit to do this thing? So I look up on Reddit, on Google, or whatever, and you see people who are like much older than you, much less capable than you, and they're like, oh no, I do this really challenging thing that you want to do. And then I think, oh, that's good because age isn't a barrier. And of course, I personally believe that I am much more intelligent and capable than these gay ass fucking Redditors. So at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be fine. I have plenty of time. You know, they're in their mid to late 40s. They're doing what I want to do. I'm only 32, so I've got plenty of time. There's no rush. I'm going to make it. I've got plenty of time. Baby steps. We'll get there eventually. There's no need to rush. A lot of people today, you know, particularly the kids these days, the Zoomies, you know, they want to rush everywhere. And sometimes rushing works for people. Sometimes some of us need to take that journey a little bit slower than others, right? To feel really comfortable with who we are and what we're doing. And there's no shame in that, right? No need to rush. Right, you'll get there when you're good and ready. You'll get there when you're good and ready, guys. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me read what Belgian's saying. I do hurt myself. Oh, Belgian, no. I like you, Belgian. I don't hate you, Belgian. I think you're pretty cool. I think you're very funny, Belgian. I think you make a very successful VTuber. You're the perfect VTuber, Belgian, because you're a very silly man, and I like that. Like, I sort of enjoyed the streaming, but I can't talk to a wall if I don't have something to bounce off of. I run into that same problem, Belgian. I really do have that same problem. I don't have that problem in isolation, obviously, because I'm talking to a wall right now. But I run into that problem when I'm collaborating with people who aren't on the exact same silly wavelength that I'm on, right? So I'll collaborate with anyone and everyone, because why the fuck not? As long as I'm in the mood, right? And even so, I still struggle. I haven't really found a collaboration partner at the moment, I say, who I'm like, feel like I'm on the perfect wavelength with, that I can like massively bounce off of and provide super entertainment. I would say that probably doing the group collaborations with Nova Crusader, Pascal Saucer, and Matsukaze are definitely almost there. I think the four of us have great chemistry and have a lot of fun together. But in terms of like I guess like one-to-one kind of collaborations, I don't think I've quite found that yet. And again, these kinds of situations are not any one individual's fault. It's more of you know, you can be very good friends with someone and have a lot in common and like each other a lot, but you know, you're just on different wavelengths, and that doesn't necessarily translate to entertainment. It's not about not enjoying that time you're spending with them as well. Rather, it's more of a case of that there's, you know, when you're an entertainer, it's not about what you enjoy, really. I mean, maybe you enjoying something can be entertaining for your audience, but you need to be conscious as well as to whether this content is good. You know, an audience, your audience, is enjoying the kind of content that you're doing. Like, I'd love to just sit around and chat about cars, or just chat about like mecha. Chat about mecha with Nova Crusader, for example, or talk about cars with Pascal Saucer. But I imagine that most people, like a general audience, or even I think most of you guys, would probably find that a bit too dry and a bit too boring. I don't know, maybe some of you might really like it, right? So yeah, I definitely struggle with the same problems you do, Belgium. But rather than giving up, I guess what you can try to do is keep networking, I suppose. Try to find other VTubers. Be a collab heavy kind of guy, right? Maybe you don't have to stream every single day, live stream every day, and do stream by yourself. Just try to be a networker kind of VTuber. Look for other people who you think you'd get on really well with in a collaboration. And with that, you probably wouldn't get a good idea as to whether someone really is a good collab partner until you've actually done it. And sometimes collabs need a little bit of work. You need to do a few streams with someone before you really start to get, you know, into the flow, into the swing of things, right? But I wouldn't give up VTubing just because you struggle with something operating on your own in one particular area. You might have strengths in other areas as well. So, you know, like when I started VTubing, I thought I'd be fucking like worthless at talking to people as well. I thought I'd be in the same situation you're in, basically, where I wouldn't be able to talk, I'd be quiet, and I'd have nothing at all interesting or entertaining to say. And I thought my only saving grace would be I'd be playing good games, and I'd be mildly interesting enough to maybe have an audience of 7 people whilst I play little map games and move little men across boards. That was kind of, I thought that would be the height of Lord Maulington's success, would be 7 people watching me play Europa Universalis in silence for the most part. Maybe having like the odd chat, maybe the odd reply to one chat I get an hour. But yeah, don't try not to get disheartened, Belgium. Try to find out what you're good at. Maybe you're better at making videos than streaming. I'm definitely much better at making videos than I am streaming as well, right? So I don't know. We might you might maybe you just need to keep working and finding something that you're really good at. Cars and mechas are they're very base things indeed. Cars and mecha are very base things. It's just that, you know, the average but I guess kind of what I want to do for the most part when streaming is I just want to be like a complete immature, like fucking screaming baboon idiot on stream, basically, with like another guy whilst we're playing Grand Theft Auto and stuff. That's like my ideal, really. I mean, I do enjoy like the deep intellectual conversations with Armchair. That's one of my favorite things to do as well. So I found Expert Armchair, who I'd say is like my idea of a perfect partner when talking about VTubing relating stuff, or doing like analytics and discussions about anything. At the moment, I just want to find someone who I can play games with and just have like a fucking grand old time, whilst at the same time the chat finds it like extremely engaging and entertaining as well. At the moment, the closest thing I've got to that is the 4-man collaborations with Nova Crusader, you know, Pascal and Matsukaze, as I said. But then I do really enjoy I really do enjoy my Mech Warrior collabs with Kara. But again, looking at the funny numbers, not many people enjoy watching me collab Mech Warrior with Kara. But I do it anyway, right? Because I like Kara, I like collaborating with Kara, I like playing Mech Warrior with him. But it would be nice to have a partner who you can bounce off of enough, right? That 40-50 people would want to stick around, right? That's the thing, right? That's how you build up your funny numbers and improve as a content creator. Would you want to chat about cars on stream? I would like to chat about cars on stream, Pascal Saucer. I would. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that, as well as I'm really big into cars, actually, despite how I appear. Despite the fact that I may be a massive fucking nerd, I actually really do enjoy guys shit like cars. But yeah, I really enjoy our repo let's play what do you call them, collabs as well though. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing stupid shit like that. Deportation GTA roleplay stream real. Oh my god. Oh my god. Pascal Swartz and Nobu Crusader, we've got a fucking like place. Yeah? Alright then Pascal. Let's get a collab going sometime. Hell yeah. Alright, I'll DM you after stream, Pascal. Oh my god, that would be so much fun. Oh my god, you know what? I might organise a bunch of YouTuber bros to get together and we could play one big game of fucking, instead of cops and robbers, we'll play fucking ice and Mexicans or something. We'll do that, and I'll get Mexican VTubers to play the part of the Mexicans. Hell yeah. Find the Mexican. Find the Mexican, yeah. Oh my, that sounds like so much fun. Oh god, but try to. Oh my god, I have to be on my best behavior. I might get a bit too silly if we did something like that. I might get a bit too silly. Yeah, you're like one of the two people who watches the Mech Warrior collabs. Yeah, exactly, Leva. It's you and Costis are like the only people who watch the Mech Warrior plays. Oh, who watch the Mech Warrior collabs. Yeah, that would make you install GTA 5. I'm gonna wait for. Actually, no, GTA 6 isn't coming out till next year, is it? I've got GTA 5 actually. I guess we could do it on GTA 5 now. You know what? Yeah, let's fucking. It won't be for a couple months now. But yeah, remind me if I forget, guys. Remind me like every stream. We've got to get like. I'll try to organize a bunch of male VTubers who are good sports, right? Who aren't, you know, who aren't part of the blue haired brigades, but then aren't like actual, you know, who aren't like actual cunts, right? You know, the in-betweeners, right? The people who have early 2000s internet humor, not like actual pieces of shit, and not the wokies. And we could do some silly GTA 5 ice versus Mexicans shenanigans. Guys, save us at your clipboard and spam the ice versus illegals, yeah. Oh, that'd be good. Okay, I'll imagine let's get back on track now. Where was I? Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so we were talking about trying to compartmentalize things into little wins and little victories. So one thing that's really important to do, guys, is you need to recognize your progress when you're on your personal development journey as well. So compare who you are today with who you were yesterday or the year before, right? Don't compare yourself to other people because they've had a different journey than you have, right? Don't compare yourself to other people and who they are now and what they've been through. It's about you, right? It's about the journey you've been through. And if you're struggling with beating yourself up, you know, you're talking to yourself in your head and you're just whining and listing off all the things that make you a fat little gay retard. Try to think of it this way, okay? When you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're whining to yourself, do you think another like live human being would sit there and listen to you ramble on about this shit? Or do you think they'd fuck off and do something better with their time? Huh? Right? So if the NPCs in your life don't want to hear you ramble on about how much you hate yourself, then why do you do it to yourself? Why do you listen to your own bullshit, right? So try not to dwell on things, particularly inconsequential things, and do something about it, right? If you're not happy with yourself, if you're not happy where you are in life, then try to do something about it. Or at least, if you don't know what that is yet, then do something to take your mind off of it, at least, so you're not dwelling on it. You can absolutely take a break. You can enjoy vices. Just be careful not to let that put you back into that cycle of destructive habits, which, you know, leaves you stuck or, you know, regresses you back into somewhere you don't want to be, right? So if you struggle with alcoholism, for example, once you've been responsible and you've gotten over your problem, maybe you can have a drink, one little drink every now and again if you can do it responsibly, But if that does send you spiraling back, then yeah, maybe cut that off, right? We've been in this slide for about I'm lost as well, honestly, Liam. I don't know where the fuck we are now. We're too busy tangenting. I don't even know why I bother, like, doing structured streams. I got this PowerPoint presentation to try and keep us on topic. But there's just so much I want to talk about in general that we always end up going off topic. And then you fucks make it worse, because then you keep indulging me going off topic, and then you give me more topics to get off topic about. And then we end up forgetting about why we're streaming in the first place. Well, at least I do. And then I don't even remember what I said, what I'm tangenting about in the first place. Oh, Felix Susslaw job. Word of advice, Maulington. If you're patrolling the border, you need to have a fat ass. Both US Customs Border Patrol and the Mexican Federales are thick. I think they got rid of the Federales, didn't they? Because the Federales are all corrupt cartel mafioso. They're called something else now in Mexico. But I know what you mean though. Why are we still here? Just to suffer. I forget the rest of the quote now. You are way too much. I am the way too much the yapping type. I'm really surprised because I don't say a fucking word to anyone in real life. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm getting out all this shit I want to say in real life. On the internet. Because that's what the internet, at the end of the day, boys, this is what the internet is all about. The internet is here to be a gay cringe retard who's just here to have a good time, be silly and be funny. Right? Imagine going on the internet and taking yourself like super duper seriously and trying to be like a cool, I'm a big important guy kind of person. I mean, there are some kinds of like streaming and content creators from which they do need to have that, I guess, legitimacy, right? Like if you're someone who does like serious like analytics or breakdowns, then yeah, probably being a drooling retard doesn't help. Doesn't help your content. That's fine. But oh my god, you're gonna get me ranting now. But I don't know. I'm very much a product of the golden age of YouTube and content creation. I've been on YouTube since 2004, and I just missed that golden age where it was all about the love of the game and not monetization or being like an e-celeb, basically. Back when AniTubers were some 23-year-old Canadian guy who just like stood awkwardly in front of his web camera and rambled on incoherently about why he really likes Shuffle, the anime Shuffle, for example. Right, that was cringe kino, and then we've lost all this cringe kino, genuine anime like nerd person awkwardly rambling off about anime and why he likes it with his webcam, to disgustingly like overproduced 3-hour long. Did you know that this moment in Naruto, this was the moment in Naruto where he became Heisenberg, and it's like a 3-hour retrospective, and then it's like, and at the end it's like, bravo Vince, and it's like, what? Like, why did you do a 3-hour like character evaluation of Naruto? I don't know, just should I watch Naruto or not? And then we've also got like I actually really like what are they called? Hoodweebs, I think they're called. I actually really like hoodweebs. I actually find them quite funny. I really like those I actually really like those videos where it's like, can Goku is Goku more powerful than Saitama? I actually really like those videos. I love how enthusiastic and almost childlike they are. I know a lot of people don't like hoodweebs, but I actually love them. I think they're really entertaining. They're a lot more passionate, I guess, and focused, I suppose, in what they like than some of the modern YouTubers these days. I'm ashamed to admit, I actually do like the awful tier lists by stupid fucking anime-tubers these days. I can't get enough of that shit, honestly. It's so bad, it's good. I just love how enthusiastic they are. They're really excited. They're really excited. They really want to know if they really want to get to the bottom if Goku could beat Saitama in a fight. And I don't know, I just love it. Yes, I like the hoodweebs when they're on YouTube. I don't like it when they start talking on Twitter and socials. Yeah, exactly, because unfortunately they tend to be the kind of guys who are like Lolicon and Kirsha, like kosher and lolicons and Nazis and shit like that, and it's like, go back to talking about whether Light Yagami is smarter than Dr. Stone, please. Don't weigh in on politics, please, or the culture in general. Oh my god, love Hina, fucking hell. Well, I'll take this to be bad, a blast to the pass. Naruto up to pain is such a good. Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else there for a moment, Clanker. Honestly, I think Naruto peaked at the Chunin arc, and then everything after that went downhill, like massively, really quickly. I don't know. I think Chunin arc was when after Chunin arc was when Naruto died, and it became a weird anime about wizards and mentally ill people. Hoodweeps are fucking awesome. Yeah. Oh my god, Columbo versus. Oh, you know what? There we go, boys. I found a new niche. TV show, like live TV show characters versus anime characters. Could Columbo outsmart Dr. Stone? Move the slide. We're fucked off track. Yes, true. Hang on. Let me look through my notes. Where are we? Oh, we're almost over. Guys, we're almost over. Actually, we're almost over. Actually, hang on. I've forgotten now what the rest of my slides are even. Oh no, we're not quite here yet at Half. Hang on, we're not quite at the house stage yet. Ooh. Okay, hang on. We're nearly done with this segment. All right, hang on a minute. So you've probably forgot where we're jumping off from. So we ended off with me saying, I don't even remember actually. No, let's move on. So why do you want to take positive action actually to improve yourself and change, right? So small victories will do wonders for your confidence, guys. Like trying to lose weight, for example. You know, when you gain that first bit of muscle for the first time, it's like finding the fucking one ring, right? It's like finding the Sauron's one ring to rule them all. You become so proud of yourself, and you don't want to lose it when you get that first bit of muscle. So keep going, right? Find something very important and make sure to focus on just the little successes even. And then it gives you that rush of dopamine. And then make sure to properly exercise that little dopamine rush and do things. Use it to start doing things quickly before you get back to a habit of coming home, eating all the cakes, and then gooning to, I don't know, fucking Vialure or whatever it is the rest of the evening, right? It's like when you're able to find success in the little things, it will temporarily lift up that awful miasma that depression causes, and then you want to use that window to get yourself into some healthy habits. And then once you've got some healthy habits, it becomes easier to stick to them. And again, physical fitness, again, a very quick, easy win, a very quick, easy way to start that journey. It's how I started my journey from being a little wimpy fat gay retard to becoming the absolute epitome of masculinity, strength, intelligence, sexiness, wit, charisma. For me, it literally did start off with trying to bicep curl one set of 6 5-kilogram weights and going for a 30-minute walk every other day. Don't worry, you too can one day end up like Lord Maulington. And it all starts with $20 plastic weights, 5-kilogram weights from Amazon, and a 30-minute walk down the street. You could end up like me. Well, isn't that nice? Wouldn't you guys like to end up like me? Yeah, I can become a gay furry. I'm not gay and I'm not a furry. Take care, Extreme Finger. Take care, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up. Maulington has damaged me in depth beyond belief whenever a bunny shows up in a we get Pascal. Yay! I've damaged myself. Every time I see a bunny now on TV or on Twitter, I go, Pascal Saucer! I'm literally pointing at it like Leo, going, Pascal Saucer! Pascal Saucer! Oh, it's Pascal Saucer! I'm beginning to think that all this time that Maulington is bi. I'm not bi, I'm heterosexual. I'm a straight man. I'm so straight. I'm extremely homoerotic, okay? I'll probably work on working out after I lose my weight. Lost 33 pounds. Not bad, buddy. Well done, Belgium. Yeah, Tempest told me actually you lost a lot of weight. I'm really proud of you, buddy. At some point, Belgium, we have to meet up and we can do that thing from Full Metal Alchemist where Major Armstrong and the other guy, I forget his name, you know, they do the, you know, the thing, right? We need to do that with each other, Belgium. We need to rip our shirts off and do it as well, Belgium, right? No, do it at FazeCon, Belgium. Me and you will meet at FazeCon. We'll rip our shirts off and we'll each other, right? Flex off. Maulington is the reason that male VTubers will never see. What do you mean, J. Brad? What do you mean I'm the reason male VTubers will never see? I'm actually in the top percentile of male VTubers. I think you're fine. Thank you very much. I'm actually in the top. I'm in more than the top 1 percentile of male VTubers for some reason. I don't know why the fuck any of you retards watch me. I suck dick at streaming. I don't know what the fuck you people are doing here. I suck. But now that I've got you here, but you guys are basically my captive audience, where I just ramble to incoherently about every and any thought that comes to my head. You seem to enjoy it for some reason, or at least you actually. It's probably more like you're probably like, you know, customers at the zoo, and you come to watch a Maulington stream because it's like being at the zoo. You want to see the weird, bizarre lion man thing. You want to throw like popcorn and peanuts at him and see what he does. want to see this decrepit old man just muttering and jittering to himself in the corner of a cave somewhere, rambling on about God knows what. You don't have a fucking. You're not following a word he's saying. But just being blasted with noise, whether it's you or the Niji EN males and Ike, like the you know what? Oh my god, we're still hang on. Last tangent. We'll continue on. I still am so tempted to apply for Niji Sanji. You know, I actually really want to apply to Niji Sanji, just so I can. Oh boy. Oh god. On the one hand, I'd really want to join Niji Sanji just to actually try to make it a good VTuber corporation again. But then at the same time, I would just have to immediately as soon as I get in Niji Sanji, I would be overwhelmed with a desire to say all this shit that would really piss off the Niji sisters, right? I'd start talking about Israel. I'd start talking about McDonald's. I'd start talking about Gaza. I'd start talking about ICE and Trump. I just want to cause as much chaos as possible. Let's just see what happens. I won't be able to contain myself. Like literally on my debut, I'd be like, "Hello, my name is Michael. My name is Shinzo Shamison, or whatever gay stupid name they call me. And here are my likes and dislikes. My likes: genocide. My likes: deportations of illegals. My likes: Donald Trump. Hates Hassan Piker. Hates you. Hates the entire dictionary of slurs. Yeah. I also wonder if girls might come on too. I don't know. I think I'd be like, if I joined Niji Sanji's male department, I'd probably be like the only actual man there, so I wouldn't be surprised. So many revelations. Yeah. I could be the new Vox Akuma. Yeah. I naturally say his name like Akuma as well. I suppose the Japanese way you say it is Akuma, but I just naturally want to say Akuma, and he is Akuma, and Vox Akuma. I would be kicked out of Niji Sanji within minutes of my debut. What's for the DMC soundtrack? I was really struggling to find good background music for this stream. I was gonna have like fire and rain and like a castle. It's raining in a castle whilst the fire crackles ASMR. I was gonna have in the background, but I don't know, for some reason I just thought that there's a bunch of tracks from Devil May Cry that I think are really good, so I wanted to put like those on just on the background, just cause. You know what, actually let's change the music for a second. Hang on, give me a sec here. Let's put a different song on instead of like boring your ears with the same one. Okay, what else? Oh, we got another good one here. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to end stream soon. I've already gone 45 minutes over how long I thought this was going to be. I wanted this stream to be 2 hours long. But then you, guys, you all distracted me and ruined the stream. This is all your fault, chat. You view yourself too highly or not highly enough. I would make it to debut J-Brand. I would be the best male VTuber that Niji Sanji has seen since the Vox and the boys first joined. Okay, hang on, it's a bit loud. Okay. So, boys, in life, it's very important that you find a purpose for yourself. You find a purpose in terms of who you want to be as a person, and you also need to find a purpose in terms of your career, your profession as well. You need to think about who you are, and you need to think about who you want to be. Okay, what does the best version of you look like? Have a good think about that, and then make a plan to get there. Right, like you need to think about it in terms of, you know, do I want to look like big, strong, sexy Hugh Jackman from the X-Men movies starring Hugh Jackman, right? You need to research dietary and gym routines to get there. Make sure it's something fun, and make sure it's something that you really want to achieve. And it's really important, okay, that you're extremely honest with yourself on what your weaknesses and strengths are. You don't have to admit them to anyone, right? You don't have to admit what your strengths and weaknesses are to anyone, because, you know, as men, right, we don't like admitting we have faults and weaknesses, and some of them might be very embarrassing and challenge our masculinity and self-perception, even to ourselves, right? That's why we lie to ourselves, because we don't want to face up to the truths, unfortunate truths about the kind of men that we are, or kind of the men that we aren't, really. But look, the thing is that if you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you really are inside, right, if you're not honest with yourself, then how can you know who you want to be and how to get there? And this is an important part of learning to love yourself, is that your ego, your self-confidence is an essential requirement to lift yourself out of depression and get rid of those self-destructive tendencies and thoughts, right? You need to be happy with yourself. You don't have to think about who you are now. You know, if who you are now is disappointing, you're not ideally you want to be. You know, remember that you need to always ask yourself, you know, can you live with yourself? If not, what are you going to do about it? So don't worry about the present. Think about the future. Think about why you're doing what you're doing, right? Remember, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Everything that's going on with you right now, it's just temporary, right? Remember, what's going on with you, the bad situation you're in right now, as long as you've got a plan to get out of it, then it's just a temporary thing that you're eventually going to get over, right? So you need to think about things in terms of, nah, it's okay. I'm in a bad spot now, but I'll be in a better position tomorrow. And take it one day at a time, if that helps, right? And if taking it one day at a time doesn't help, because it's not enough progress for you, then one thing that can really help is like taking a picture of who you are now, and then like looking at it again in a couple months' time, even if it's not necessarily relating to, even if it's not like a physical thing, even if you're not like working out and trying to get stronger, and it's not just about measuring how athletic you are now versus how you are in 2 months. If you're succeeding in life, right, and you're doing better in your job, or you're improving your mental health situation, that also shows up. That is also readily apparent when you take photos of yourself. It shows in your face, the way you engage with other people. So that's like another way as well that you can kind of assess and measure how far along you are in your journey to be a better person. So yeah, so as long as you remember to measure yourself after key milestones, like don't just think about the end result, set up little milestones for yourself as well. So like, I want to be able to eventually lift this amount of weight, or be able to walk or run this amount of miles. and then have like little keystones that you gradually incrementally rise to as you develop yourself. And to try to remember that you might be in a bad position now, but in a couple weeks time you're going to make a lot of progress, and that's exciting, right? You can't wait. Oh, in 2 weeks time I'm going to be able to so in another 2 weeks time I'm going to be able to run an extra mile, and I'm going to look great, right? Try to think of it in terms of that way. It's still wild that the Niji clique was confirmed. Yeah, very much. Shame we'll never see. I'll call up Pascal Saucer if he ever fucks up, don't worry. I'll do a whole fucking video on Pascal Saucer. Honestly, VTubers probably get better with age. Older males are too jaded and potentially married to start cringe harassing women. That's true. I also think that just older people in general, doesn't even have to be male, are much better equipped to be VTubers in some ways, right? As being a very young VTuber makes you down with the Zoomers, and you tend to be like a overly energetic, loud, rambling ADHD weirdo, which, you know, a lot of people like as well. But the advantage of being someone who is on the older side of VTubing, particularly if this is like a very young and new medium, is that you probably have several years of like real life and work experience that, and in addition to just general age as well, just tempers a lot of your negative characteristics and your vices, right? Like if I was VTubing now as an 18-19 year old, I would absolutely be like I would absolutely be just a toxic piece of shit. I wouldn't be someone who does bad things to other people, but I would definitely be like an egomaniac who like mocks and looks down on other people. And kind of, as you get older, as you age and grow up, some of those life experiences, the things you get up to, just, you know, you stop taking yourself so seriously, you become jaded, you stop caring, and you just want to get on with your life and just live in peace, right? And I think that's one of the benefits to older VTubers, is that they tend to have their ambitions, and they tend to have their ambitions tempered a little bit, and they have a wealth of accomplishments, experiences, and stability in their life as well. That means that they don't have many of these like negative feelings that lead them to do and say stupid things to other people. Although I am surprised actually at how many like relatively older guys who are post 30 who still engage in, you know, sexual harassment and begging for e-sex. I'm still surprised at like how many guys over 30 still do that. That's very bizarre to me. I'm gonna be honest, I grew out of like sexting and getting really excited about chatting to girls on the internet when I was like 17 years old, right? Like I could understand why a hormonal teenager would do those things, but to keep doing that when you're in your like late 20s or older just seems very, very bizarre to me. I don't know how some men can be like that, but there we go. At the end of the day, internet blood sports, Maulington House Universe Kino, yeah, God, absolutely. Oh, Nova Crusader. Where's Nova Crusader? What did Nova Crusader say? Where's the bird? Pascal Saucer is on thin Google Doc. I ain't doing a Google Doc. I'm doing a fucking Google video. Doing a whole documentary on Pascal Saucer. Pascal will start living rent-free on people's heads like EB, yeah. Congrats, Pascal Saucer. Oh yeah, actually, let me finish today's stream and then I want to end on a little story, actually. I had a dream about Nova Crusader, involving Nova Crusader and Pascal Saucer the other night. I think it's pretty funny. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. So yeah, at the end of the day, guys, exercise patience, all right? It'll probably take you some time to get where you want to be, but I want you to remember this, okay? And this is the closing statement, all right? We'll end here. I won't bother you with the fitness stuff. I'll do a separate stream talking about like fitness. What I'll do is I'll give you guys a workout program if you want to follow it, and I'll give you some dietary help as well, because there's a shitload of like terrible dietary and like fitness regime advice out there, whether it's because it's clueless people trying to sell a course, or it's like autistic, you know, gym bros who have been on the source for so long. They don't know how normal people live, and they don't realize like how overcomplicated they're making exercise and dieting, right? Because you go on some of these like workout or like gym bro YouTube channels, and you just want to know what would be a good routine to build a generally athletic body, and like how to do push-ups and shit. And before you even see the first rep, they spend like 27 minutes going over the theory over the 15 different variations of a bicep curl, and it's like, dude, I don't want to know. Don't front load me of all this theory. Just give me a pretty good, reasonable workout regime and just show me a plain old bicep curl with proper form, please. I don't need all this other shit that you throw in these videos. All right. So yeah, I'll do that next time I do one of these streams, because obviously as someone who works full time, I can give you a pretty and as someone who isn't Mr. Moneybags, I can give you a reasonable dietary advice that actually works. I know it works firsthand because I've lost a lot of weight, and I can also give you like a workout regime that is realistically achievable by someone. Basically take you from couch potato to being quite a decent physical specimen. Basically, we'll do something like that. Anyway, so what I want to end, actually, let me turn the music off so the point becomes more poignant. Okay, so I want you guys to go away from today's stream remembering this. Okay, the difference between the successful and unsuccessful is often just determination. It's really that simple. Okay, successful people do things, unsuccessful people think about doing things all the time. Most of the quote unquote lucky people I've met in life were well prepared, organized, and had plans. They had ambitions. The unluckiest people I've met in life were none of these things. They just sat around whining all the time, expecting good things to come to them. They had absolutely no accountability whatsoever for themselves. Go figure. These kinds of people tend not to have good outcomes. So, boys, go out there. Maulington believes in you. You're a lot more capable than you give yourselves credit for. Hold yourself accountable. Don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you give yourself the proper credit for those, even the small gains that you get, right? What you're doing is impressive. Getting over depression, dealing with crippling mental issues that are in the way of your life, overcoming those is extremely difficult, and it's absolutely worthy of praise if you're able to do it. All right. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to end the stream there. My voice is fucked and it's 7 o'clock. I'll talk about the Pascal Saucer and Nova Crusader fucking story another time. I'm going to end it there. But yes, anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. The amount of tangenting and random yapping probably ruined any potential message I could have given you in today's stream. But maybe there's one thing you picked up. But even if you couldn't follow any of this whatsoever, as long as you had fun and you're happy, and that I've staved off the brainworms and the demons for just 2 minutes, or 3 hours in this case, that's a win in my book. As long as you're entertained and happy, I'm entertained and happy. Okay. So, is there anyone streaming? Let's have a look. Let's raid someone, and of course, you guys can all fuck off and do whatever it is that you want to do with your time. Actually, I should have fucking checked on my other YouTube account on who is live, because I have everything turned off on Maulington. Subscriptions. Who is live? Panko, Vulcan. Oh, okay. Potentially. Actually, I wonder if I can. What if there's anyone I can raid? A lot of the people who I could potentially raid have raids turned off. Live. The male VTubing experience with Maulington. Edit. Customization. Is it customization? Yes, I'm starting to remember again. Redirect. I'll raid. Oh, I'll raid Bees. Bees is streaming. I'll raid Bees. Okay, guys, make sure you behave yourselves. And I will speak to you all. Well, I guess I'll see you for tomorrow morning's stream. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I love you all very much. And yeah, bye-bye. I can't raid Nitya, actually. Panko's streaming. I'll raid Bees because I like Bees. He's a good lad. Everyone say hi to Bees. Okay, see you guys. Thank you very much for watching.